Welcome to Love to See It, a podcast about engaged couples who mostly hate each other.
And who certainly should not get married. Definitely not.
We've got a clean sweep, folks. These people should not get married. We're here today to discuss episodes 10 and 11 of season 9 of Love is Blind. Of course, we are in Love is Blind Denver, which is teaching us so much about Denver and the kind of people who live there.
None of it good. I'm so sorry to all of our listeners who are like, this does not represent Denver. Unfortunately for me, this does represent Denver.
Yeah. So joining us to discuss all of this is Jove Meyer, wedding planner extraordinaire and host of the podcast Weddings with Jove. Welcome to Love to See It.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Oh my God, we're so happy to have you. There is so much to discuss in these 2 episodes. I was like, it's only 2. It'll be a light load. No, Claire and I took the same number of notes as for 3 episodes. Like,
Yeah.
we can't be
They cut
stopped.
all the fat, baby. Every scene is
Yes.
load bearing.
Yes. Every single scene. You're like, how can it what?
Yeah, you're like, wait, no, this is important. There's no filler. So before we get into it, just a little bit of housekeeping. We covered Taylor Swift's The Life of a Showgirl over on Rich Text. We're also going to be doing an episode, a little tribute to Diane Keaton by way of the 1987 movie Baby Boom over on Rich Text later this week. You can find those episodes at claireandemma.substack.com.
So let's dive right in. We are post pod mixer. They all just met the singles. As you recall, Edmund took a ride on the bucking bronco, and now they're all back at home kind of regrouping from the drama. And let's talk about Nick and Annie and their
Oh,
post mixer chat.
Oh boy, Nick and Annie regroup after the mixer and have just another, I like to think of it like a classic Nick and Annie ill-advised conversation
Yes.
where Annie is drunk and practically slurring and everyone needs to go the fuck to sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
This is a classic Nick and Annie joint. And it starts out of nowhere. Like that's the classic Nick and Annie way. Nick says he apologized to Kate for their breakup and she took it really, really well. And Annie's like, are you sure? And he's like, do you think I'm holding something back? And she says, well, yeah, that you don't love me as much as I want you to. And the funny thing is, I actually remember that Annie was already mad at Nick at the mixer.
hmm
And that she felt like maybe he hadn't told her certain things about his relationship with Kate that he had told other people. But she
none of
doesn't
that
say
comes
that
up.
here. Right. She doesn't say
No.
that.
She doesn't bring that up, but she's very needy physically. Like, he gives her like one little baby kiss, and she's like, give me more, touch
Yeah.
me more, love
is-
me more.
Yeah.
She's a well of insecurity. She is like has imprinted on Nick. She has decided that her worth, I think, is wrapped up on the success of this relationship. And it's just a disaster on all ends. So it's like, on the one hand, I think throughout this, Annie is being kind of unreasonable and having a conversation in a moment that she's just not really equipped to express herself well. On the other hand, the more we see of Annie and Nick, the more I think that Annie has been picking up on something that has been there the whole time. And there's a reason she's so insecure.
Well, I think it's telling that there was a very specific reason that she was sort of insecure, which is that she heard some things about Nick's other relationship that she felt like maybe he hadn't actually been that transparent about, because she seemed like taken aback and pissy afterwards. But instead of coming to him directly with that, it sort of translates into this sort of, tell me you love me more. I'm worried you don't love me enough. That everything gets like transmuted into insecurity about whether he loves her enough. And then it seems like that comes out of nowhere. But it's actually just how
Yeah.
she responds to other things.
His line, how can your love for me be so deep but feel so shallow?
oh my
really,
God. And that's in the next conversation.
That felt
Got me.
Yeah. Oh my God. We're going to go on a journey with Nick and Annie. So he at first hears like, oh, I don't love you as much as you want. Like, I just took hours out of my day to help you get caught up on work. If that's not love, I don't know what is. And she's like, yeah, totally. That was great. I just love you so much. I just love you. I love you so much. I love you so much. And I want you to be happy here with me in this moment. And he's like, okay. And she's like, but just be here in this moment.
And he's like, okay. It's that classic thing where the more someone looks at you and insists that you do a thing, the harder it becomes for you to do that thing in any sort of genuine way. She's like, be happy right now.
And also, once you've had to demand it from the person or feel like you have to demand it, it doesn't feel authentic when they do it. So you're like, no, do it more, but for real this time.
She feels him slipping away for sure. Like, obviously, physically, there is no chemistry. So she's like lacking and begging at the same time, you know?
Yeah. And it does keep getting weirder. She keeps saying how much she loves him, and he's like, I love you too. And she's like, that's literally all I want. And he's like, absolutely. So they pinky promise they're just going to focus on that. But this is not over. There are many more twists and turns for this to take. He's like, I'm here for you. And she's like, well, that's new. You've never been here for me. And he looks pissed and confused. And he expresses that he's confused because what does she mean? Like, they just talked about how he took 5 hours out of his day to help her at work, and she acknowledged that. So what is she saying by saying he's never been here for her?
She's think really we know.
Like, you're not here for me. You're not here for me.
She's not an acts of service girl. That is not the love language that she feels love from. But because he can't give her the love she needs and wants, he gives acts of service like a good, pious man.
Yeah, he's contributing to the households.
That's what I'm picking up. I was like,
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Joe.
Yeah, a lot of the things that she
dated
says,
girls.
I did
brought
think
them flowers. Said all the right things.
You're like, I'm here for you.
Well, I would have loved to date you in high school. That sounds amazing.
Bring you some froyo.
Yeah, I never had one of those. That
honestly would have been far better than most relationships.
Yeah. But I do think that, like, a lot of times she seems to be dancing around saying, like, I just feel like you're not really into me. Like, are you here for TV? Are you more interested in someone else? Like, she never directly says that. It all comes out as this sort of inarticulate, like, but I love you and you're not here for me. Like, you don't love me enough. And it feels like there's something underneath that.
Certainly.
She's like, I'm 100% for you. And he's like, okay, totally. Samesies. Great.
And at this point, she's practically slurring. She's like, Nick, I love you so much. You're exactly the person I want to be married to. I envision you as my husband. And she's just going on. And Nick looks so unenthusiastic to be in this conversation. Out for sure.
He's very unattracted to her in that moment.
Yeah, I think this is a theme with the men this season. And one or two of the women, too, where their partner will be having an emotional moment and they'll just look, like, visibly bored and like they want to be somewhere else.
Always a really good sign when you're, like, 6 weeks into a new relationship.
Yeah. Like, you'll see often on these shows, they'll fight. Maybe one of them will be irrational and maybe the other person will look upset or distraught or I don't know what to do. And across the board, these people just look bored to death.
No, they're on another planet. They're like dissociating. They're picturing like a beach. Yeah. Like,
so Nick is completely over it at this point. He's like, I love you too. So I don't know what the problem is. And she's like, I'm not sure that's how you see me.
That feels very telling.
Yes. As does her hair. I'm sorry, but you can't own a hair salon and have hair like that.
Well, remember she had that conversation when they were meeting his mom, and she was like, I'm nervous that she won't like my hair because she's a hairstylist. And I was like, Annie, you're a hairstylist.
You should easily be connecting. Yes.
Right. Like, you should. But it seems like she, like, doesn't. Maybe she just owns a salon and actually knows nothing about. Yeah. She just bought it. Like, I don't understand.
Owner, yeah. Maybe that's it.
Very unclear.
But yeah. Nick is like, I'm just trying to eat this chalupa and enjoy the night. Can we just do that? And she's like, okay.
And frankly, I was like, everyone again needs to go the fuck to sleep here. You are not going to accomplish anything.
It does feel like things are like slipping out here. Like she's literally like, I don't think that you see me that way. And I'm like, where is that coming from? Like, what do you mean? All we've seen is you guys like, we hear that you're like having sex, like you're so romantic with each other. He keeps saying he loves you and he's excited for life together. So what are you saying?
Right. What are you picking up on that perhaps we are inferring, but we are not being shown the footage
We're not
of?
seeing it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so this feels really confirmed the next morning when they try to regroup. And wow, what a journey this conversation
It
is.
starts out in a place where I thought they were like, we're good now. We went
Same.
to brunch,
Same.
like, haha, I
Same.
really needed that. Like,
They're like,
she's
hair
like,
of the dog. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Yes.
she's like,
I drank too
wasn't.
much. Oopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, oops, I drank too much. I wasn't in the best place last night. And he's like, that's okay, in this really cheerful, reassuring way. And he's like, that's okay. I'm going to dump you anyway. So it's cool.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I have
It's
a whole
fine.
speech prepared.
That's in the past now. Like, that's about a relationship that doesn't exist anymore. You just don't know it yet. So it's fine. Water under the bridge. Truly.
I found this entire conversation / breakup to be one of the most unsettling things I've ever seen on this show. I was like, tonally, they are not in the same like realm
World.
of existence.
No.
Like, okay, Claire, you need to like run us through.
Let's run through. So Nick tells her that the night before reminded him of Cabo and the argument that he never wanted to have again.
For a
And that-
reminder, he told her that can never happen again when she suggested that he had said things he didn't feel he had said. So he had issued
Right.
a warning very early on, like one strike and you're out.
Yeah, she had said like, you think you don't love me as much as I love you. And he was like, I never said that. You can never do that again. And I was like, that seems a little intense, but okay. So he's like, I can't stand you putting words in my mouth. I hope I've been able to show you how much I really do love you. And she says she loves him too. She doesn't mean to accuse him of not loving her. That's just how it feels sometimes when she tries to bring up their future plans. And he's just like, I don't know.
That
she's-
was interesting to me because
Yeah.
I don't feel that we have seen those conversations.
No, we're in the
But
dark.
that's like the first tangible thing we've gotten from her that I am like understand a bit more why she would be feeling insecure. If you're like, oh, we should live in XYZ town or whatever, and your partner's like, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, especially on this show, you're starting to think he doesn't want to be bothered making a plan because he doesn't expect to be there with me. And Nick says he's been really happy with Annie, but that was a breaking point for him. Quote, getting to the altar, that's not a happy idea for me.
This is when I clocked in and was like, wait, is this a
I didn't
breakup?
understand. I was like, wait, we were like in this crazy circle talk and then like all of a sudden a sharp U-turn and he's out.
Right. I was
Right.
like, what's the timeline here? You've been really happy with her, and all of a sudden, the idea of getting to the altar with her is not a happy idea.
Uh-huh.
And this is my issue with Nick, is that so much of what he said feels so disingenuous. Because if you love someone the same that they love you, and you've been really happy with them, one drunken conversation would not lead to a breakup.
No.
I know, and people like have justified, I think, criticisms of Annie and how she handles these conversations. 100%.
We have
I'm sorry.
criticisms
Maybe
of
there
Annie.
are lots of people out there who have relationships where there have never been conversations like this. I'm not one of those people. Every relationship I've been in has had many of these kinds of conversations that are like messy and ugly, and at least one of you is behaving badly. And if you really love each other the same amount and you're committed and you're showing up, then you can have at least like one or two conversations about it.
Right.
He's like,
Especially
no,
after
I
a
gave
night
you
of
that.
partying and drinking and feeling jealous of another woman. Like, yeah, it's not the healthiest way to go through it, but it's a human way that we've all done in some capacity.
Well, exactly. We don't all perform within relationships in like the perfect robotic way. We fuck up, and that doesn't necessarily mean that your relationship is going to end. So
And
this really
it seems
felt
also
like
to me like there could be a way, like maybe I'm expecting too much or too little of my own relationships. I don't know, but like, couldn't you not have a conversation with Annie in a calmer moment, like I would have with my, husband or children? That's like, where did that response come from? And can we figure out a way to address that need that doesn't involve this really unpleasant conversation where you make me feel like I did something wrong. And instead, he's just like, that can never happen again. If your emotions come out in that way again that I find unpalatable, then this is simply over. And then he followed up on it. He's like, it's over. I said it would be over, and it is.
I'm in charge. I'm the man. That's it. I've decided, and you're just going to lockstep. That's it.
Yeah.
Right. I've decided, and also he just seems so detached from what's happening.
Yeah, it's crazy. And frankly, so does Annie. Maybe because she doesn't understand what's happening.
Annie's responses were wild.
This is when she starts to sort of like laugh and act a little bit silly, like like they're just joking around. She's like, well, I still want to get married. I want to get married to you. And can you just try? And he's like, no, I don't want to do the wedding. And she says, I don't need you to tell me no right now. I don't need a yes. I don't need a no. Like, let's just keep going.
I was like, no. But he's telling you no.
Yeah.
Quite clearly.
He wants to tell you no.
He was very clear. The reason I'm unwilling to marry you is because I'm unhappy is like the clearest sentence you could give in that situation. He didn't dance around it like, I'm reconsidering, I'm not sure, I'm 50-50. He was like, I'm pulling the plug and we're out. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, you need to let yourself be happy. You're Nick fucking Amato. You do everything.
Yes,
you literally do everything and you do it so well. So why wouldn't you do this? What is she's like appealing to his ego. This is some crazy like trad like man management here. She's like, honey, but you're so strong, you're so brave,
big, you're so strong, you're so talented.
If you can build a race driving simulator in your garage, can't you build a marriage with me, a woman who loves you so much?
It was so uncomfortable for her. Like, you want a man that wants you, and he's told you like 3 times so clearly that he doesn't. And you tell him he's amazing, and you continuously tell him he's amazing. I'm like, this is so uncomfortable for her.
And she's like, literally like, the reason you should do this is not because I'm amazing and I'm right for you. It's because you're so amazing. You can make something out of nothing. Like, come on. Do it for me.
Oh, God.
Don't do it because you're a size queen. That wouldn't be right.
No. Well,
no, that's him.
Maybe he's a size queen for hair.
I think so, yeah.
He's got the volume that he needs. Nick says that marriage is a cornerstone of life and he doesn't want to mess it up. And she's like, well, so is owning a business or a home. And you've done those things alone. So you should do marriage with me. Someone who also believes in marriage. I'll be a great wife. I'll be a great mom and a great mother and a great parent. And we'll have a great marriage.
At this point, I just was like, Annie, I want better for you. Like, you deserve more than just attaching yourself to the first person who says they value marriage, but is actively telling you, first of all, making you feel extremely insecure and like they don't love you as much as you love them, which you've repeatedly said. But also someone who's sitting on the couch telling you nothing about a marriage to you makes me happy or excited.
Yeah. He says no again. He's like, I'm choosing what's right for me. And this is when she's really starting to laugh and
this
like
is
smile.
Unhinged.
She spirals in a weird way.
It's very odd. She's like, baby, just try now because this is where we're at. Just get out of your head and just love me. It's amazing. And
then giggles he says, in a weird way.
She giggles. He's like, I do love you.
And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't, Nick. He keeps doing this. This is the one.
Yeah, he shouldn't say that. Yeah.
He should not say that. He's like, no, I do love you. Nick, no, you don't. You do not.
And she's like, please. And she laughs and throws herself on top of him. And he says, how long do you want to drag this out for?
And she's like,
yeah, she puts her hand on his mouth.
Yeah, then she pulls out her cell phone. I'm like, wait a minute, we're having like a life-altering conversation, and you're going to pull out your cell phone?
I will say, I think Annie waits to pull out her cell phone until she believes that he's done. And then she's like...
Oh, interesting.
I think she's like, I need to get a message from someone who actually fucking cares about me right now.
Okay.
Because this is
interesting
over.
Point of view. Okay.
Because first she's like, no, it's not fair of you to give me a no. And he's like, you can't make make 1 + 1 = 3. And she says, watch me. And it's like, none of you are making any sense.
No one
right
this
now.
is just words coming out now. And he's like, we have to stop. We're just disagreeing. And she gets very agitated and starts saying, no, no, like Michael Scott when he sees that Toby has returned to the office. And he's like, you can't tell me to stand up there and marry you. And she starts crying. And Annie says that she's been trying this whole time. Her love for him is real. He's like, I don't want to have another conversation where you tell me that I don't love you, because I do. He doesn't.
Again, no, you don't.
He's like, I'm so sick of that. And this is when he says, how can your love for me be so deep? And then sometimes it feels so shallow, which is another line where I'm just like, what?
I think he had that one.
Yeah.
It
in
felt
his mind.
very perfectly delivered. I mean, I had to go back and like hear it again. I was like, wow, actually, I've been in that relationship before. But then it took me away from their relationship, which, like, I think it was pre-planned. That was a strong line.
That
That's the
seemed
thing.
pre-planned to me. And it's not even that I completely disagree. I think their relationship is very shallow, and it's completely based on them saying, I love you so much to each other.
With
Yeah.
completely unearned. There isn't, no, you're right. There isn't depth to the relationship. But the way
Yeah.
he deployed the line felt like he was like, this one. This is
The moment for this line.
Yes, he was a pastor giving her a sermon about love and the end of a relationship that happened to be hers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he was giving a I am that holier than thou moment to her.
So at this point, she takes out her phone. She seems resigned. She's like, okay, it's over. And he tells her, I thought pretty condescendingly, that he can't talk to her through her phone. And she's like, I'm listening to you, but you're flipping my whole world upside down. And we see her text exchange with someone over her shoulder. The name is blacked out, and so are any timestamps. But it seemed to me like this conversation had happened in the last couple of hours, because
Yeah.
she texted them, hi, 90% sure, no wedding. And the person responded, checking in on you. And then, why? And Annie said she'd call later because they are currently filming. And in this moment, she's texting, Nick won't do it. So it seems to me like there obviously was some sort of pre-conversation before filming where he was like, I don't know about this anymore. I'm not feeling, I think maybe we shouldn't do the wedding. And then they had to like go have this like filmed conversation that started on
Like this
clearly
wasn't the
completely
conversation they were
phony note.
having.
Right.
And this often happens in these shows where like a conversation will start and then they have to call their producers and they have to like get cameras up. But I wonder if that maybe accounts for some of the like unhinged tone that
I
we
feel like
see
he
displayed.
wakes up very early, had his alone time. She woke up she's, like, hungover, and then like he just had all this time to sit with himself and realize like this is not it for me. This is not the woman or partner I want in my life. And I feel like he made up his mind and made up a script. And by the time she like woke up and did her makeup and her hair, like that's where we landed. You know what I mean? Like in this very weird place where he was set and she was just coming to. And that's the conversation that we got.
Yeah, it's just weird that she texted someone that she was 90% sure there was no wedding before. And I'm like, did that
Yeah.
happen during this conversation
Right.
and we didn't see it? Or did it happen right before they sat down?
That was my question. And there's no way to know because they block out any identifying details and like we can't see how much time has passed between the various texts. But yeah, it's either that this conversation obviously was much longer than what we see and she was texting throughout, or she had an idea going into this conversation because of whatever chat they had before filming.
I almost want to say that that she was texting during their conversation. And obviously they cut out a lot to make it into the show because like she really seems completely confused and thrown by what he's doing. I don't know. I can't
guess
tell
we'll
if
have to
Annie is
wait.
someone who has like a little bit of instability going on or if it's created by the editing of the show that we can't see what she's responding to and we can't see the motivations behind some of her behaviors.
I'm actually very curious to see what these two say on their like press rounds after these
Yes.
episodes drop because yeah, it does feel like there's a lot of context lost just in the limitations of the form.
Yeah. So Nick tells her that the arguments they've had have really fucking sucked. It's not healthy leading up to a marriage. And she's like, if that's the reason, then that's the reason. But she doesn't seem to believe him. And she's like, I just need you to give me something. Like, I don't want to waste my time telling you that I love you while you continue to love me less and less.
And like me less and less, she
Well,
adds.
and it's like, you
Oof.
don't just stop. Like, he has dumped you. So don't waste your time doing that. It's over.
Right.
And
Yeah,
this
he's
is
not
when,
going to come back.
yeah. And this is when he's like, I'm unhappy. That's why. And they finally go to pack while she tells him that she thinks he'll regret this. And he says, you can't force me to the altar. And she's like, I'm not forcing you to do anything, Nick. You're the one who's asking me to leave. All I asked is for you to try. And then she asked him if this was his plan the whole time. She's like, I wish you would have just told me. And he's like, no, it wasn't my plan. Like, why do you say things like that? And like, you have to understand why she might say things like that. You're on a
She's
TV
flailing.
show.
Yeah.
You broke up with her. It came out of nowhere in her mind. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
she has questions.
Yeah,
Right.
for her, it came out of nowhere. You've been giving her a lot of reassurance. And also, like, there are a lot of reasons that you might have a plan to get engaged and then not make it to the altar to be on this TV show
That's
that can
the
really
thing.
raise someone's national profile. Make it easier maybe for them to be a luxury watch dealer. I don't know.
Mhm. So some people slide into his DMs, some other people.
Some
Yeah.
other people.
She's like, I feel like there's so much more that I'm not understanding. And I think we all feel the same.
We agree.
And she says, I feel like I've wasted my time. I've molded my whole life around you.
That was your first grave error, Annie,
Yes.
because you should not be molding your life around a new partner. I don't care
No.
who you are. I don't care what the timeline is. Like, do not
And
do
his
it.
cabin upstate, like, we're not doing that. Like, what are
Yeah.
we doing here? Not upstate, but we're in the mountains.
Yeah, the upstate equivalent of
The
Denver.
upstate, thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's upstate to us, New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've come so far since her being like, I don't need you. I want you, Nick. I want you, but I don't need you. And now she's like, you are the support pillar for my entire life. I have grown around you like a trailing ivy plant around the trunk of a strong tree. Like, what are you doing
No,
to
I was
me?
like, this is the prime example for why women, in fact, need feminism if they are going
Yeah.
to engage in heterosexuality.
100%. Like, what did he do to her? Like, what has wrapped her so tightly around this tree? It's like,
The
what
idea,
is going
right?
on?
Yeah.
The idea of a man, the idea that she is chosen, the idea
Yeah.
that like she's going to get this life that she has pictured, and it's like,
Happy
okay,
ending.
I think,
Yeah.
I would like to hope that maybe this experience would perhaps make her reevaluate some priorities.
Afterwards, she tells the camera that Nick had her convinced that this was going to be their life together and he was going to be her husband. And she says, I hope that everything wasn't fake. Do you guys think it was all fake?
I can't tell.
Smiles.
I think that in the pod, they had really deep and genuine conversations. Part of me, as I
About
watched
homophobia.
that whole thing.
Listen,
And his, like-
homophobes fall in love too.
Oh, yes, they do. And those that protest the most. Anyways, I think that, like, they had a connection without meeting each other. But I do have to think, like, if there's a tank of gas and you're, like, in the pods for so many hundreds of hours, like, that gas is gone. Then you meet in person. Then you're sustaining on, like, physical beauty and nuances and personality and energy. And then I think you're going to hit a rut at some point. And you have to decide, like, are we doing this or not?
Yeah.
And I think he was just like, no.
Not.
No.
Not.
It's not appealing for me anymore. Like, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I believe that it was all complete. Well, I guess I think it's very plausible to me that it was all fake, but it's also plausible to me that
It
he was
wasn't.
hoping to find someone that he could have his beautiful godly marriage and straight children with, and then he was like, oh no, it's a little bit difficult. Sometimes she has really annoying tendencies and human emotions that she doesn't express very well, so I'm outie.
Sometimes when you want the perfect girl, like, like they have to be this, they have to be this. It's like every girl's going to be a no for him because no one is perfect.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just not the reality of what he is hoping for.
Yeah, sometimes you really need a perfect girl when you're not sure if that's
The end goal for you.
yeah.
Right.
Like when you
And-
set the
and-
bar so high that nobody can meet it.
Right.
Yes. Right. Then everyone's inevitably a disappointment, and it's nothing that you did. You weren't faking it, but
Yeah.
Correct.
none of these people could possibly.
And then
Meet
there
your
can be a lot of
expectations.
reasons for that. It's also why like people fall in love with like constantly with like unavailable people. It's like I just for whatever reason I don't want to,
idea of
I
a
actually
person.
don't deep down want to be with a real person. So I'm only going to go after people who are not going to be a real possibility for me, or I'm
And
always going to find that flaw.
I do also wonder if that is like a great way for like people who are facing that's like the pods are actually great for them because you can fill in so many gaps about the other person when you're in the pods.
Oh yeah, these people are all in love with like their own mental fan fiction about the voice on the other end.
Yeah.
They've cast their own movie, like they have an idea, but then it hits reality. So let's, on that note, take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk about the other couples.
And we are back, and it's time to talk about Joe and Madison, at least part one. They meet Madison's family, and like on the surface, this meeting goes really well. But the vibes are off, mostly because the whole time Joe seems to just be telegraphing exactly how he's going to leave Madison in the near future.
Yeah, it's a very weird meeting in the classic Joe way, where everyone around him is acting like everything is so good and exciting, and Joe just looks visibly like trapped, like deer in headlights. He's like, why am I here? And they're all like, oh my God, Joe, welcome to the family. Oh, sweetie,
We love you.
Can I do a booger check for you? Oh, I just want to like get up on you and snuggle you. And he's just sitting there like, am I involved in this? Why am I here? Why are they all talking to me? Like, what's going on?
When she's like, I just want to jump your bones right now. Like, we should just have some sex right now. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Are you
And
that
he's
deeply
like-
insecure that you need all of us to know that you've had sex once to know that it validates you and
I
him?
mean,
Like,
yes, because I think that the one thing Madison is holding on to in this relationship that is actually good and the only place she actually gets affirmation is when they're having sex.
yeah.
And I think she's kind of like wanting to get a positive response from him on that, at least, to feel good going into this dinner. And instead, he just looks at her like he barely knows who she is. And he's like, we're at dinner.
Like, he's the waiter and she's the person. Like, that's how he's kind of like, do you want, is it sparkling or still? Like,
Yeah,
what do
he's
you
like,
want?
Am I at this? Why am I sitting down
Yeah,
at this table?
I'm not involved.
I'm going to
in
go
this.
get the food now while you guys talk.
So she introduces him to her mom, Erin, her sister, Jessica, and her brother-in-law, Matt. They're, as we said, so effusively welcoming and excited for them. And Erin asks what Joe has learned about Madison outside of the pods, and he says she's crazy. In a good way, in a really good way. Like, it's so good how fiery and direct she is, and she wins every argument. I don't stand a chance. I'm just like meat through the grinder over here with Madison, and I love it.
It's the wildest. What do you love about my daughter? She's crazy.
She's crazy.
In a weird way. Like, I'm like, and she's smiling. Like, I am. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Ugh. She's interpreting everything in the most positive way. Like, he really knows me and my quirks and he loves them. And it's like, no, he thinks you're nuts.
No,
He
he
doesn't
hates
like
you.
it.
It's like the Titanic is sinking and she's the one playing the violin. Like, that's what I'm watching
Yeah.
it happen in like
'Cause
such a
she's just-
weird
I'm imagining
way.
multiple of these women watching this show back, as has happened to many women before watching the show back, being like, I, along with everyone in the audience, am looking at my former self and being like, he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
But in the moment, she can't see that.
Yeah.
Matt asks Joe about his fears, and he says that he was in a relationship for 5 years. He was miserable in it, but he had resigned himself to that. So the red flags are already just like,
They're waving right over his head.
I'm like, this is how he thinks about relationships. You are miserable, but that's just how it is, and you just tolerate it.
And then at the last possible moment, you escape. He's like, we were engaged. We were about to get married. The invitations were like stamped and addressed. And
Yes.
I just could not put them in the mailbox.
Wait,
Mail.
I'm sorry. By
That
the
was
way,
it.
isn't this like a scene from a TV show? This is giving Seinfeld. This is giving
Yes.
George not wanting to marry Susan. This is giving Carrie and the wedding dress with the
also,
hives.
Jove, as a wedding planner, I'm like, are guests traditionally like putting the invitations in like a yellow mailbox at the end of the street?
No,
pretty
you're
sure I
bringing
did
them
that,
to the post
actually.
office. Oh, really? You didn't have it hand canceled?
No, I didn't give a fuck.
Oh.
I feel like I had to go to the post office, but
Yes.
you know, he's evoking an image.
You don't have to.
He's
You can put
evoking
as many letters
image.
as you want in the mailbox.
He was like painting a story, and I was like, I could just see him
It felt
standing
cinematic.
at the box for a long time, and then just kind of being like, no, 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 bro, no.
No,
Like, I could
yeah.
see the meltdown
Well,
happening,
and you can
for
see
sure.
it. You can probably see his facial expression. It's the same expression he has on his face whenever we see him with Madison.
Right.
Deer in the
It's just like,
headlights.
me?
Yes.
Am I part of this? Why am I involved?
I was like his poor ex, my God, having to
can't.
watch this.
And it's the worst kind of breakup too, where you find out
Ugh.
they've been miserable for years and you had no idea. I'm like, what's worse when they're like, I was happy this whole time until last night and now it has to be over immediately? Or when they're like, I've been miserable for 5 years and I didn't tell you. I don't know. Two
Also, the
very
save
bad
the dates
situations.
were out. Like, people were coming to the wedding. Like, this means the invites were going out 6 to 8 weeks before. So this
Oh,
isn't
yeah, no,
like,
this
this is last minute.
Yeah.
Which he says. He said,
Yes.
I waited till the last minute.
He is literally the runaway bride. Like, this is wild. Jessica and Matt are very gently like, that's fine. Like, not saying you should have stayed in that relationship, but like, you do have to kind of fight for each other. It won't always be easy. It's kind of giving, I won't fight for the relationship to be good. I'll just be miserable for a long time and then I will quietly disappear. And that's not really what I'm looking for from for my sister.
Isn't this episode titled Runaway Groom?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
it's
it is.
so on the nose.
Yeah.
Madison's mom gets really choked up talking about how Madison could lose her vision at any time. And she wants to make sure someone will be there to take care of her because she won't always be around. And
Yeah.
Joe's like, yes, I will support her through that, which is so easy to say when you don't plan to be there in the
When you don't
future.
have
He's
to
like,
stick around.
If I were to be there, that vision of me would
Yeah.
definitely be the most supportive. I also
This
think
actually
this
really jives with his like self-conception of like, when I'm in a relationship, it's a sacrifice I do for another person and I hate it. And he's like, so why wouldn't I also just be a full-time caretaker? It's not that I want to, it's just that like I expect to be miserable anyway.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm going to
I
see
also-
it through because
Yeah.
I said I would.
Yeah.
I also think that this explains why Madison's family maybe is so effusive and supportive of her in whatever relationship she's in, if she's excited, because they are just like so eager for her to find happiness, to find a loving partner, for them to feel like she has the things that she wants and needs
Yeah.
going into the future.
It's just so sad because like Madison has many wonderful qualities. She's beautiful. She is definitely very like warm and enthusiastic and energetic and like sweet. And you can see that for someone who appreciated her qualities and loved her, that it wouldn't be a sacrifice at all. It would be like a
Right.
joyful
No.
thing to be there for her through that. And Joe is just like, sure, I'm miserable anyway. Why not also show you around dark spaces, I guess? Like,
I guess I'll hold your hand and drag you through life with me.
Yeah, he's like
Right.
batten down the hatches. We're going in. Like,
And when I'm wasted in bed and you're unable to bring me my things, I'll just deal with it. It's fine.
Oh my, I know. He literally has not once that we can see actually been helpful to her
At all.
at all. And she
No.
already has trouble seeing in low light. And he's just like, oh, oops, did you bang into something again? Good luck over there.
And
The whole
her
thing.
mom is just like, I really want to protect Madison's heart. And at this point, she looks at Joe and she's like, "You're not gonna last minute her, right?
He is.
Right?
That
Yes.
line. That
he's like,
foreshadowing was
Of
iconic.
course, the foreshadowing was so beautiful here.
I appreciate what Madison's family, they're clearly very warm, open people like her. The moment he told that story was the moment to be like,
I'm
bullshit.
concerned. Yeah.
Bullshit. Like, you came on a show that is all about walking away at the altar. You've already done it
Yep.
before, and you're telling me you're not going to do it this time? Bullshit. Prove me wrong. And they're
Yeah.
just like, okay, well, you seem great, and I'm sure you wouldn't do that again.
But
And
he
we're
says
all just
no.
sitting there watching,
He's
being
like,
like, he's
no.
gonna
Like,
do
he's
it
very
again.
confident. He's like, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't do that. No.
Yeah.
Well, he's like,
Like,
don't
you
worry,
have
I'm
to
not going to
believe
leave
him.
her at the altar. I'm going to leave her like 3 days before
3
the
days
altar.
before the
Yes.
altar.
Yes.
I'm making progress.
He is taking steps. He also assures them by telling them that his feelings for her in the pods have totally translated to outside the pods, which is a tellingly bizarre way to present his feelings for her. Like, at this point, most people are saying things like, I've totally fallen in love with your child. Like, everything about them, like this, that, and the other thing drew me to them. And he's just like, I had feelings for her in the pods, and like they did carry over. Why are we still talking about the pods, Joe?
Yeah.
He's like, because that's
It's
the
all
only
he
time I've been
has.
happy.
Yeah,
Because I
that
can
was
So
write.
limited.
He's like
Yeah.
that. I was writing my beautiful fan fiction about Madison.
You were behind a wall. I was behind a wall.
It was perfect. We were like Abelard and Heloise, and like it was all I needed.
So moving on to Anton and Ally.
Oh.
They get back from the mixer, go to have a drink, and they discover there's only one beer left in the fridge. And Ally is alarmed. She's
Yes.
like, what? Where did they go? What did you do with them? And Anton tries to put it back on her. He's like, well, I don't know what you did with them. Jesus, woman.
Yeah, this is his pattern the whole conversation, and that is maybe the most disturbing thing about it. It's like the very practiced display of like, I don't know. I don't know what happened to the beers. I wasn't involved. Maybe I had 1 or 2 or 7. I don't know. Like, I guess we both just drank them. What did you do with them?
It's
Flipping
so
it around on
uncomfortable.
her.
Instead of just saying like, hey, I think there's an underlying issue here with my drinking that you're not comfortable with, and we should just talk about this. Because isn't he like a drunk driving coach or something? Like, doesn't he work
No,
in that
he's
world?
he's a truck driving coach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
truck
trains you with
driving.
truck.
Makes much more
Sorry.
sense than
I
drunk driving.
I just started to imagine what a drunk driving coach is, and it's like it sounds like
Same.
someone who teaches you how to drive drunk really well.
Same. I thought it was like someone that has like helps you learn to redrive after you got a
Oh.
but
Oh my God. Wait, that's incredible. I'm so glad you've been
This
watching this
changes
whole time.
everything.
I thought he really has a very interesting relationship with alcohol, and I was looking at this through a whole different
You're
lens.
like, wow, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yes, and I was siding with her a little bit more. Like, wow, like this is no wonder. Like he gets in a truck every day, and like, okay, this is
Yeah,
okay,
yes,
got it,
he gets
okay.
in a truck and also we have to remember that he works nights. So a lot of these beers are being consumed at like 7 a.m.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Ally says, I only had 2 beers out of that 12 pack. And Anton's like, oh, well, maybe it's because I met up with Patrick. And me and Patrick drank 4 of them. And Ally is confused. She's like, wait, Patrick came here to our apartment? Like, why didn't you tell me that? And Anton is sort of deer in the headlights. And he's like, oh, not in the apartment. I met him in the lobby and I brought 1 beer down for each of us. I'm like, Anton, basic math.
yeah.
1 + 1 is 2. You just said 4. So like the story is shifting
He
around.
can make 1 + 1 = 4.
Yes, 100%.
He's like, watch me.
uncomfortable. Yeah, and then the tequila conversation. When she's
Yes.
like, "What about the
Okay.
tequila?"
That's
It's
where I
not
got
just
very
tequila.
alarmed.
There is another 12 pack that is also gone. She's like,
Gone
there's
missing.
another 12 pack, of course, that's gone. Do you see how concerning this is? And he's like, no, that doesn't show anything about me. A normal week for me is 1 or 2 nights a week. I turn on a movie and I have a couple drinks. Okay, so then how did you drink a half bottle of tequila and like 20
and
beers?
2 12 packs.
But my
Right.
favorite is when she's like, "Is that still there?" And I feel like she knows it's not. And he's like, "I don't know. Let me go look."
Yeah,
I'm like,
they
"You
both
know
know
it's
it's-
gone. Everyone knows it's gone. We all know it's
We
in
all
the
know
recycling."
it's not there. We all
Yeah.
know. But he's
And
like,
even
oh.
when she asks about it, she's like, what about the bottle of tequila? He's like, what's that? Huh? What about
Yes.
what? Like he didn't
He's
hear
shocked.
her. He's like,
Yes.
oh, I just need like 15 more seconds to think of an answer about the tequila. So I'm going to pretend I
Yeah.
didn't hear her say tequila. Come on,
And then I'm going to
Anton.
pretend to go to the fridge because I definitely don't know if it's there or not. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
not there.
It's
So
gone.
this is, look, here's the thing. It isn't inherently concerning if you watch a movie and have a couple beers twice a week. The math is not mathing for that to be the case here.
He's
Yeah.
fudging. He's fudging the math. He's turning it back on Ally. He's like, maybe you drank all the beers. We drank the beers through the week. Who can say? And he's also saying like, well, what about your stuff? I don't give you shit about your stuff. Like, is your normal work week you not cleaning up after yourself? You not doing your laundry? And she's like, yes, 100%.
I kind of love that she was like, yep.
She didn't even
That
like fit.
is-
She was like 100%. Yeah, we shit
Yeah.
everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely me.
I also get so annoyed when men do this thing that's like, I never start fights about the stuff I hate about you, but I have a list of it right here. Let's talk about it now.
It's at the ready. So you want to go? Let's go.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was actually trying to resolve these issues that I had with you, and you were just holding on to mine as ammo this whole time, I guess.
It's also weird when he's like, I could stop drinking for a week or 2.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
but to
totally
what
could.
Yeah, like I could do that. Like I don't have a problem, just so we're clear.
Yeah. And this is already allegedly his like calm down, I'm not single anymore lifestyle.
This just smacks of a person who is not really in a place to like adequately confront this in this moment. And so he's just going into pure defensiveness evade mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. You're messy.
Red flags all over the place. So they kind of leave it there. We don't see this get resolved. The next time we see them, Anton's mom, Natalia, is coming to their apartment to meet Ally, and it goes really well. They both, as we know, are immigrants from more traditional cultures, and so their families have a lot in common. And they discuss how both in Brazil and in Russia, it's culturally normal to get married very young. Ally is 29. She's like, that's really hard for my mom that I'm still single. And his mom is like, yes, you should be married by 22. Yeah.
You should have 3 kids by now.
Yeah, something's off. And they talk about how they connected on big things like their timeline for having kids. And Natalia's like, yes, my son is ready to take responsibilities and build a family. I see this in him. I'm like, have you seen his recycling bin? Do you know what's going on there? Can you check that
Were you
out?
at the conversation with his best friend who they go to the club all the time? Like, ready for kids.
I don't know. It's actually very normal for married fathers to spend a lot of time at the strip club. Personally, you know, I don't know if that's a good idea, but it's not uncommon.
Well, yeah. Also, clearly Anton's, both of their moms are like, the point is, Ally, you should start staying home. Everyone agrees on that.
A woman's place is in the home. They have a a nice clean home that Ally has made clean. Ally also says they've agreed they both want to raise their kids in the church. Which one is not specified.
We don't know.
There are many, but Natalia seems thrilled. And then they have a very alarming conversation about child rearing, in which Ally describes daycare as, quote, pawning your children off so someone else can raise them.
This stopped me in my tracks. Like the idea that having any help
at all
is like somehow inherently irresponsible, and it seems implied that like specifically as a woman to have childcare is,
I'm sorry,
disgusting.
No one ever says that a man who has kids is pawning them off on someone else because he goes to his job during the day.
No, certainly not.
Ally says that the roles they wanted to play in the family are important, but she's not very responsible right now. This seems to be a reference to how she just leaves her shit everywhere, which does seem like something I would want to resolve before I got married. I don't like it when my partner leaves shit everywhere all week. And Anton is like, I appreciate that you can admit your faults. That's very important. Again, he is struggling a little bit with admitting that he drinks 30 beers a week, but he loves that Ally can own things.
He is very willing to admit that Ally has some faults, like not cleaning his home.
And so
admit and list in front of the mothers. Like, what? Like, so bizarre. Like, women, you understand. You'll set her straight.
But the thing is that they do. They do. Natalia's like, you know, traditional values are the best to stick with. I think we can all agree on that. And they're all like, yes, we can.
Yeah. And she's like, I think that my son will be an amazing husband and father. And he's like, that's because you raised me well. And then she and Ally gaze at him lovingly while he hunches over his plate, shoving food in his mouth, like the pietà of patriarchy. I was like, what the fuck am I looking at right now?
I was done with that right away. I literally was like, okay, he's kind of attractive. I love a strong nose. He's a vibe. He's a man's man. Like, I'm here for it. What was that?
No,
like, it was like a hunter in the nature, like trying to learn how to eat for the first time. Like,
his mouth was so close to the plate. I was
like,
it's like when you've brought in someone from the cold, like a child who you found who's like been abandoned out in the woods, and you bring them in and they're hunched over the plate, and you're like, yes, little one, eat up, I will care for you. But it's this adult man.
Like someone on Survivor. I mean, he was literally like, I'm like, we are adults. We bring the food to our mouth. That is the difference between us and primates. Like, what is happening here? It was so uncomfortable. And then the editor, this sniding editor that cut right to her going, do you want another one? And I was like,
and he does. Oh,
and he does.
Guys, and the editing in this season is art.
Yes. I have to say, Ally and Anton became like the sneaky couple with like the most like very overt gender role like
Yeah.
shit to unpack. Like
Yes.
every scene between them is such a rich text of gender role garbage. But like this whole thing about daycare being like kind of pawning off your responsibilities for a mother is some discourse that I didn't really see until like 3 years ago.
I
And
was
now
gonna
it is
say,
everywhere.
I think in the MAGA 2.0 era, there is like a very strong thread
Yep.
of desire on the parts of some people in this country for women to be forced out of the labor force into the home, to marry young, to spend their lives having children, whether they want more children and that would be a healthy choice for them or not. And the daycare piece is just part of all of the other slush that we're like wading through every day now. And this was like so alarming to me for that exact reason.
It
Yeah.
felt judgmental in the worst possible way. Like, we're going through surrogacy, we're talking about how we're going to care for our own child, and I was like, oh wow. Like, it wasn't like this is what we're choosing. It was like a path of superiority. Like, you're not
Yeah.
a parent if you have daycare or a nanny. Like, how dare you?
Well, it also
Yeah.
feels
assume-
actually like a similar sentiment that is used to justify why like IVF isn't okay or surrogacy isn't okay,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
these are like all interconnected
Mhm.
conversations meant to enforce this like hetero patriarchal model.
Yeah. And as someone who uses daycare right now, first of all, fuck you.
Yeah.
Second of all, I'm sorry. There are 24 hours in a day, and I've heard through the years, like, oh, if you send your kids to daycare, it's like you never see them. Like, they just go to, I'm sorry, those kids are up all night. One of
like,
my
"I
kids ends up
fucking see
sleeping
them."
in bed with me half the time. Like, I've been
Mhm.
puked on all night by my kids, all weekend, all evening, all morning. Like, trust me, you will know your kids and see your kids even if you make use of childcare and daycare. Like,
Yeah, plenty of
it
hours.
is
Obviously.
propaganda. Like,
Yes.
my
Yes.
kids know who mom is. It is
Yeah.
propaganda to scare you into thinking that your kids won't love you, that you won't be valued as a woman unless you sacrifice your career to raising them.
Your career,
And 24 hours a day, like no
any
you
amount of
time.
pleasures, any
Yes.
time for yourself.
Or your relationship.
Yeah,
Like,
your
no, none of that is
relationship
allowed.
for
Your hobbies,
cultivating
your
any
own.
other interests in the world. I mean, again, and it's the same kind of thing that you could use to argue against public schooling. Oh, you know best. You're the parent. Mom, maybe you should homeschool your children now. Can't let them be exposed to these like worldly ideas.
Yeah.
God
No.
knows what's going to happen in those schools. Like, this is just all of a piece, and it's
Can't
Yeah.
see a
rancid.
pride flag in a school, they'll get a bad idea.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But do you think that it's like down the line she would be expected to homeschool, because daycare is just schooling for younger children and school is schooling for older children? Like, or is it just
There are
when they're
different
young?
strains of this. A lot of
Yeah.
them do really push homeschooling, and then there are some people who feel that the child just really needs you when they're like under 3, like when they're still like a baby and they don't need as much socialization. 3-year-olds don't need socialization, just apparently, according to the MAGA internet. So like there are kind of different branches of that, but she doesn't strike me as the homeschooling type, but who knows?
No,
Like
no.
she's going back to school to further her career, but apparently she's about to drop it to be a stay-at-home mom indefinitely. Like that's really hard on maintaining your nursing career. So I don't really know what her
I mean, a lot of these people
total theory of the case is here.
have a politics that is rife with like incompatibilities. Right?
Yeah.
You know, there's not
And
a
then-
lot of consistency.
But the other thing I just wanted to say is that the way that they also spend these conversations, they're talking, as you said, in a lot of detail about whether Ally is going to be a good enough domestic laborer, but they're not talking about Anton's faults. Those
No.
are for Ally to deal with in privacy. Like it would not be appropriate for her to bring up that she's concerned about his alcohol consumption. But he's going to bring up the
No.
stuff that apparently he never gives her shit about, which is that she doesn't pick up around the house. So let's talk about Edmund and Calibria. The last time we saw them, they were in full fight at the mixer. And when we see them again, they are tensely, silently sitting in their apartment. And she's like, all right, I'll bring up the elephant in the room. As always, we had this fight and you won't take ownership or accountability for why the fight happened. So let me explain. clearly for the benefit of the cameras. But here's the backstory. She was running errands all day on mixer day. She had planned to stop by a store to grab some Western-themed accessories for the mixer. After her last appointment ran late, she asked Edmund if he could run to the store and pick those things up. She's like, I still needed to do my hair, my makeup, and eat. It was 3:30. I was running out of time. You were just chilling at home, but you declined to go to the store for us because you said you didn't want to be late. And she said, well, I'm looking for a husband who is going to make my load lighter, but I called you in distress and I needed you. You made me more stressed out. Ross is a mile away. You could have done it in no time. You had nothing to do except cut your hair in all that time. When she got home, she's like, I walked in, I'm stressed, I'm hurt, I only have 30 minutes to get ready. You're prancing around being like, look at my shirt, look at my haircut, what do you think? Not even thinking about how I was feeling. Then I said, you hurt my feelings, and you told me your feelings were hurt. So you're making it all about your feelings and not even acknowledging mine. Then they went to the mixer. Things were good again. She had decided to move past it. He makes the comment in front of everyone about wanting to hear that he's perfect. She's like, everyone noticed it. Like Ally's jaw dropped and she looked at me. And then you went further and said, you haven't said anything nice to me all day in front of everyone. And when I tried to respond, you shushed me. She's like, you made me look like a bad person in front of everyone, basically. Mm-hmm. And then you won't apologize. You won't take accountability. You just come around and you're like, I love you, KB. I need you instead. And that's manipulative.
He's just so emotionally immature.
Yes.
Like, this is not a relationship of equals.
The tools are not in the toolbox for him. He can't even reach for them because he doesn't know where they are or what they are.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting to know more about that even throughout this batch of episodes. And it's like, I think we all feel very deeply for Edmund because he hasn't really been set up for success by his upbringing. And KB maybe thought that, like, given her background and her expertise, that she would be a good person to both understand and support him. But she actually doesn't want a partner who is so ill-equipped.
Well, that's the thing. Like, maybe they would have been really good as friends, you know, someone who can, like, dip in and, like, enjoy Edmund and respect him and, like, help him through a hard conversation.
Roller skate with him.
Skate with him. That doesn't mean you don't want to be parenting or doing social work on your partner.
If you're at home, like in every relationship, sometimes there's one person who does this and the other one does that. But like if everything's in her bucket, and she's fine managing a lot, she's very capable and can do it, but asks him to do one thing when he literally has no plans and he can't do one thing that's fun, imagine when it's hard or challenging or emotional or important. Like, I just was so off-put, but I also see that he's not intentionally trying to hurt her. I don't think he has the tools because of his upbringing, his childhood. It's like such a sad, and she keeps trying to give him the tools, you know what I mean?
But like, and I think he's also like, I imagine there's some amount of like fear and insecurity underneath this. Like, this is something that, like, even to a smaller degree, maybe I'm just projecting on him, but I know that there can be a fear of apologizing or taking accountability because you're like, part of me feels like I won't be loved or accepted if I admit that I did something wrong. So I have to explain that actually I did nothing wrong. And I wonder if there's a lack of security there.
Unpack that for me. If you apologize, meaning if you do something wrong, you'll lose the love of your partner?
Right. And so by denying that I did the wrong thing, I can therefore protect myself. I can convince them that, like, I shouldn't lose their love because I didn't do anything wrong.
Because I did no wrong. Interesting.
Right. I don't think this is 100% what's going on, but it seems like something that could be at play here, given that he probably felt a lack of security growing up. And I think that can feed into the sense of, like, if I fuck up, I won't be acceptable. Like, I need to sort of be innocent to be worthy. And that makes it hard to kind of own things. It makes it hard to admit that you did the wrong thing. I don't know. I don't want to, like, diagnose him. I'm just like,
no, I think that's
something that
I think that's an interesting dynamic to point out. And I think that could definitely be part of what's going on.
he just doesn't have the tools for whatever reason. And he does try to like apologize. He's like, I'm sorry for making the comment about Annie and Nick, and I'm sorry for walking away from you. And she's like, no, that's not the comment that really bothered me. Can you identify the comment that bothered me and apologize for that one, please?
She walks him right to the water, but she can't make him drink. Like, that's the thing, is like, she has all the tools in the toolbox, but I don't know that long term, like, that's the relationship. She doesn't want to be a parent. And I think,
exactly.
like, we're watching this gap get wider and wider, but then when they're good, they're good. And when it's light and fun and easy, he's great at that. Like, he's the ball of the party. He was the first one on the bowl. He's like, let's do this thing. Everyone loves his energy.
Yeah.
But, like,
And
is
she,
that
right,
long
she clearly
term?
appreciates his energy, feeds off his energy, enjoy.
Yeah.
There's so much that she does enjoy about him. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, a long-term romantic partnership is not just built off of those light and
No.
easy moments.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
to be frank, I sort of think that things were permanently damaged with them the minute that he had a meltdown because she wouldn't give him sex.
That
And
was
I-
one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever watched. Like, the
Awful.
tears. And then, like, him conflating, like, but you loved these hookups more than me because you gave them sex that you won't give me. When she's like, no, they meant nothing to me. That's why I
Yeah.
gave it away. Like, he couldn't. It was.
Yeah, this comes up again in a different way later, but I think that he has still a very like one-to-one association between reward and like good behavior and punishment and bad behavior that does also feel like it's still at a like an earlier maturity level than maybe where you would expect someone to be by this age, where you could like recognize that sometimes you don't get a reward just because you did a good thing, or just because you get a reward doesn't mean you did a good thing, and vice versa. He's not quite there yet. He's like, I'm not getting the reward, so I guess you're saying I'm not doing the good thing. The good thing isn't as good as something else. Edmund then says that it's hard for him when KB only talks about the things he's doing wrong. And he starts going, say something nice. Say something nice, please. Just say something nice. Say something nice and then backhand me if you want, but say something nice.
I know, but I get that a little bit. He's like, you got to give me something to hold on to. Otherwise, like, what are we doing here? Because
I get that too.
Yeah.
she is her words are very strong. She's going right at it. She's not like dancing around anything. She's like right to the point and very direct and hits on every single thing. And I could see if I was in a fight, I mean, I think that's me in a fight. So I could see the other person on that side of that fight being like, do you love me? Like, whoa, like this is a tidal wave of wrong. Like, is there any right in here?
I understand it to an extent. I have been like the Edmund, but not quite. But like in like the
I don't want to
person
say
who's-
that. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the person who's like
Adjacent.
feels that they're like dealing with a wave of criticism, and it's like, okay, could you please like soften it? But I think what's interesting is that we also see a version of this between Jordan and Megan. And so much of that is in like the delivery and in the feeling that these are two equals. Like there is a version of a relationship where you can say, hey, I'm getting a lot of feedback from you right now. I also need, like, I need our relationship to not just be like a litany of the ways in which I have done something wrong. But what we see here just feels like a whiny toddler. And he's not grappling with what she is actively saying that in this moment is hurting her. He's just like, be nice to me.
Right. Like
He wants
it does,
to rollerblade over it. He doesn't want to like
Right.
stop and deal with it. He just wants to like keep riding.
Right. And like we do see her say nice things to him. And this is something that I understand that you might feel like the proportion is off, but like she does say nice things to you. What you want is for her to not say not nice things to you.
Not even
Correct.
mean, but,
And
like,
that is
critical.
equivalent to saying like, devote yourself to coddling my feelings. Like, I don't really care if I'm hurting you or if upsetting you. I don't want to talk about it. I just want you to exclusively say nice things to me. He doesn't say exclusively, but again, we do know she says nice things to him. We've seen it.
Yeah.
So
Those
he's,
don't
She wants
stick.
more. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they
all
don't
she
stick.
wants.
yeah.
They
And he's-
ultimately leave this semi-resolved.
Yeah. He's like,
Do
I'm
they?
still locked in on you. I want to do this with you. And she's like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to do this. I see your potential, but potential has broken my heart plenty of times before. I do apologize for getting so heated with you. And he's like, yeah, I understand. I'll be accountable. That's my like commitment to you. And that is kind of where they leave it. It's not like
It's not
they're not breaking up.
Well,
No.
exactly. That's sort of what I mean by like they end this okay. And everything in me was just screaming, KB, you need to call it.
Yes. You need
Yeah.
a whole human. You can't just be with someone in their growth phase. Like, we're just not there.
Yeah, she keeps talking about like her big dreams and having kids. And I'm like, do you really envision Edmund as a partner in that? We do see them fill out their marriage license application in a later scene, and he seems excited. And KB is like, okay, let's do
Well,
this.
she also
She's
was like,
there.
were you not born in America?
Yeah, and he's like, it says birth county. And she's like, birth country.
She's like, there is still more to learn about you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, the rest of this batch of episodes.
And we're back. So let's talk about Megan and Jordan briefly before we talk about the wedding dress and suit shopping. So Megan and Jordan meet up with Jordan's parents, Kip and Zan.
I was like, what a duo of names.
He
Yes.
has the most regular name of all of them.
Yes.
They were like, we're going to have a regular child. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Meg is only the third woman Jordan has ever introduced to them. And Megan says it's been interesting because she's a foodie and Jordan drinks chicken smoothies. And his mom seems alarmed and says, are you
Appropriate.
still doing those? Which means he has already been doing them for a long time.
Again, Jordan's main red flag is the chicken smoothies.
I almost threw up watching it. Like,
I mean-
watching them drink it. And even
Yeah, that's
him,
the
if he
appropriate
has it.
response, Joe.
Yes. It's horrible.
There was
Horrible.
someone in our rich text community on Substack who told us that she used to drink chicken smoothies that were made very specially by a company to kind of try to remove the chicken flavor and make it taste palatable. And she's like, it was still so gross that I
Yes.
like could only last like a month doing
Yes.
it because of the texture and just like you just ugh.
I think we should give up as like a nation on a chicken smoothie. I don't think we need
I mean,
chickens to be made smooth.
to be
okay?
fair.
No,
fair.
no, they're
I think
not.
that the nation has given up on chicken smoothies. Jordan
It's
is
just
the
Jordan.
only
He's
person.
holding strong. Well, and I wonder to what end, because it's like he works out and does this, but I'm sort of like, he has a fine body, and not to critique
Yeah.
bodies, but if like it's getting you shredded, maybe that's worth the
Jove.
sacrifice. But I
Yeah.
don't
Jove,
see
we
the
don't
results
know. Jove, this is
in the way that
Yeah.
I would assume it's worth it
Right, and apparently he's been doing it for a while. I'm like,
for a long time.
and again, like I have no critiques of his body. I don't even like a particularly shredded look. I'm like, you look great, Jordan. You keep going.
100%.
But like,
Yeah.
I don't think you need the chicken smoothies for this particular.
No, like you're good.
Aesthetic.
Like we're
Yeah.
good. You're good. Like put the
Yeah.
chicken down. Take it
Yes.
out of the NutriBullet and put it
God.
elsewhere. But otherwise, this meeting goes really, really well. These are like the couple with the least rancid vibes. I was like, oh, what a delight. They're just having a nice lunch. They seem to
Yeah.
enjoy each other. The parents are like, Jordan's parents
Lovely.
are thrilled.
Yeah. And they seem great. I really liked both of their families, actually.
Me too.
And Megan and Jordan say they're sure about getting married to each other. Megan says it would take something catastrophic over these next 10 days to make her not sure. Like the world would have to fall. She says we hit the lottery together. I mean, I will say it seems like something catastrophic could also turn out to be he gets tired after work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And doesn't want to talk.
Unfortunately, I don't. If they were going to get married, I almost don't think we would have, like, the show
Seen
would not
that.
be showing them saying these things.
Yes.
Is my opinion. But this meeting goes really, really well. We also learned that 9 days before the weddings, Megan gets to meet Jordan's son, Luca, off camera. They go to an arcade and they have like a slumber party movie night at Jordan's. So things are going great for these two for now.
For now.
And with that, it's time for the wedding dress and suit shopping. About a week before the wedding, they split up and go shopping for their outfits. One of the first things we see is the women kind of talking about Nick and Annie's breakup. And KB says that Annie was the only one fighting for their relationship. And Ally says that every interaction with Nick felt premeditated and disingenuous. So we see two things here. One is that Annie has definitely spread her side of the story to all the women. The other is that everyone hates Nick.
Yeah.
I've
He's not
never
likable.
seen.
He's not likable.
He's not, but I've never seen like one singular member of the cast be this like widely during filming disliked by the whole of the cast. It's
and
alarming.
especially baffling because so much of the cast is really unlikable that I'm like, do you think he's different from you? And could you elaborate on that?
There's no self-reflection. There is no mirror. Come on now.
Well, that's what the craziest part is, that they all seem to like each other except for Nick.
Right. I'm
Yeah.
like, what additional distasteful thing is going on here? Vanessa meets the ladies, of course, for their wedding dress shopping. And this is usually a fairly boring scene, but just a couple highlights. Megan talks about meeting Luca. She says it went amazing. He's the smartest, cutest, most polite 5-year-old. I'm sure she meant other than mine. Thank you, Megan. She feels prepared to step into the role of Luca's stepmom because of her experience with her dad, who also had type 1 diabetes. But is she? Because the next thing that she says is that it was really kind of a lot to deal with at the slumber party. She says that Luca's monitor's alarm will go off in the middle of the night if his blood sugar gets high or low, and they have to kind of like address that. That seems like the kind of thing that you would say, oh, I'm prepared for this because of my dad's diagnosis, but she really seemed kind of thrown by it.
I think it's dawning on her.
Yeah.
She's also in a tough position where she has to make this big decision before she's had a chance to live with and get to know Luca.
Yeah.
Like,
and that dynamic and what that will be like for her. She's built a successful career where now she can do what she wants and travel the world and be with her friends and her attractive male friend that was there for her. Like all these people in this life that she wants to live. And now it's like, oh, but I'm literally going to be here doing this.
Yeah,
Like,
I will
away.
say that I would if you have a small kid involved, you also still might not want to move in together until they're 100% committed. So maybe that would never really, this is like a likely thing that you have to decide to be a step parent before you really get to test it out, because you don't want to test drive a kid and then be like, never mind, you were too much for me.
That's true. But traditionally, I mean, you're spending a lot more time with a child than like one singular meeting.
Yeah,
before
you have
getting
time
married.
to understand the
right,
day-to-day.
what is the schedule? What does it mean when like this child is with my partner? Like there's just a lot of like being a single parent and dating a single parent within the structure of this show just seems particularly difficult, like on both ends.
Yeah. KB brought her besties with her, and Vanessa asks one of them what she thinks of Edmund, and she pauses and says that Edmund is different, unique in his own way.
This made me laugh so hard. I was
loud.
texting you, Claire. I was like, wow, her friends are really pausing there thinking about what to say. And they're like, and that is really good because it's a challenge for KB.
Yeah. They're like, how can we make the fact that we have grave concerns sound like a compliment?
Lovely. Yes. Yes. Find the good. Find the good.
Yeah.
He is
Also
definitely
alarming.
different.
Also alarming is that Madison's mom is like, I have an incredible ick barometer. There's 0 ick or red flags from Joe. And I was like, Mom, get that barometer checked.
Yeah.
It's
Joe is wearing a
faulty.
full suit made out of red flags. He walked up to you and was like, here are some of my top red flags. Any comment? No?
Within 30 seconds, I think your daughter's crazy and I walked away from my last wedding. Any questions?
And she's like, nope, seems pretty good.
Yeah, I was miserable for 5 years in my last relationship and I didn't do anything about it. Anything else? Okay.
Oh.
So the women try on their dresses, and they're pretty normal dresses, I would say.
Yeah,
Embellished.
I was like, I don't know, we're not in Paris anymore. The fashion
Yeah,
was
some
just
of us
much
are basic,
better.
Emma. I was like, this is very similar to my wedding dress, a lot of them. Madison and Ally go for more like clean satin, and some of them have more like appliques and stuff. But, you know, they all look nice.
They do.
When she puts hers on, KB says, I look like a virgin. Which, like, KB, you're one of the most normal ones here. What is going on?
know.
What do you mean?
It's such a
I was like,
left
wait,
field
what
comment.
does a virgin look like?
And a virgin you are not. Like, you've told us you're not. And like,
And that's great. Like,
like what?
But she has apparently been celibate for a while, and this is what she told Edmund in the pods, which is why she was so taken aback by his meltdown. But, like,
So is there a desire here to be sort of like a born again virgin? Is that she's like, and now I'm wearing white. Would they let me do that if I wasn't a virgin? Yes, but
Let me
it is
tell
a
you,
virgin
KB,
costume.
They would let you.
They'll let you buy a dress no matter what.
Yeah. They're
Like some
"You
of
got
us have
that,
worked very hard to decouple white and virginity and the cultural
Yes.
consciousness.
Yes.
Madison puts hers on and says she visualizes being at the altar and Joe saying yes. And I'm sure it's not looking like what is actually happening with Joe over at the suit shop. So let's talk
Aw.
No,
about the
but-
suit shop.
But you feel, Madison, neither of them have joy in this moment at all. Like, she is. I also liked her first dress better than her second dress.
Me
if
too.
I'm honest,
Me
I was
too.
like, that is the dress to go with. Like, what is this second dress?
You know what? I'm kind of glad she didn't choose that one because it was cursed. So she,
Oh,
it's,
interesting.
you know, like she
Okay.
can't go back.
Yeah,
Now,
she
when
can't.
she finds someone who actually likes her,
She'll
she
do
can
the first
buy the
one.
first dress.
She'll do the first dress. Yeah, it was just so uncomfortable because everyone else had like found the joy and there was real emotion, and she was like really forcing it to be what it felt like it could.
She's trying to manifest. She's like, I'm visualizing it. Joe will say yes at the altar. It will
Yes.
happen.
Cut to
Yes.
the tux shop
Where Joe is also visualizing being at the altar and he is not liking what he's seeing.
and he's like, and the next step is I jump out of the window.
He's spiraling. He is spiraling.
But most of the guys are feeling good. Jordan is like, I'm 110% committed. Megan would have to do something crazy like slap Luca in the face for me not to marry her. Or again, she could want you to talk to her after work. Joe says that half of him is elated and the other half wants to jump out the window.
I don't think half of him is elated, personally.
No.
He's
No,
like, we
elated
get
to be on TV, maybe. And for the girls that are going to slide into his DMs, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. He seems so miserable. Is he not aware of how miserable he is?
He doesn't fake it well.
He
No,
says that
at
they
all.
get he's like, we get along well, footage not found, but there are always certain things. And Nick Lachey lightly presses him on what those certain things might be. And Joe immediately becomes like a like one of those old school stand-up comics, you know, it's like, hey,
man,
lay off me, Nick. I thought this was a tux fitting. What are we doing?
What are we
Hey.
doing?
He's like sweating.
He's like, questions for anyone else?
Like, take my wife, please. Take her away. I don't want her.
Yeah, what are you wearing to the wedding? Move it right along. Move it right along.
Yeah, he's like, let's talk about Edmund and the fact
Yes.
that he wants to be shirtless under his suit jacket.
But with a vest. But with
Yeah.
a vest.
He's like, you told me 2 layers. Listen, I got it covered. I got an underlayer on. It's great. The stylist is like, okay, so you left this shirt in the fitting room. Got it. Okay, great. I love that.
This poor stylist is really trying. She's like, Joe, just a tie, a pair of pants, Edmund, a shirt? And they're like,
Yeah.
no.
And he's like, are ties in or bow ties in? I'm
Oh
like,
my
you
God.
don't.
Joe clearly just is like, I don't want to be bothered trying on a tie, so I'm going to ask if I even need one, because every
Yes.
moment that I spend trying on a tie is a moment that I'm thinking about marrying Madison.
Okay. I got what Joe reminded me of in this scene was Carrie and Miranda trying on wedding dresses, where Carrie has like a full-blown panic attack and has to be like ripped out of the wedding gown.
Yeah,
That is Joe.
that is Joe, but the emotions are more deeply submerged. He's like, what is
Very
going on?
deep. But the pond is not that deep, actually. But yes, they're submerged.
He's really just like a human emotion trapped behind glass. It's like, we can see it. He
Yeah.
can't. It's right back there. Very thin layer. He tries on like one jacket. He's like, this is it. He's declining to look at the ties. He's like, no one even wears ties anymore. And they're like, no, people wear ties. That's normal
Yeah.
to wear ties. He doesn't want to try on the right pants or pants for size or anything. He's just like, yeah,
And
get
then-
the stuff. That's fine. Sure, I'll take the tie. That's fine. Whatever. I don't care. And black pants, I guess,
Yeah.
with the blue jacket.
Whatever gets me out of here the quickest, we'll do it.
Yes.
He's showing up just like in a thrift shop assortment of like mismatched and ill-fitted garments, being like, I don't know, I just couldn't be there.
Well, his friend really triggers him. That.
Yeah. His friend asks if it's setting in, and he says, quote, shut the fuck up with your questions.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. We then cut to a confessional. Like, clearly they all have to be doing interviews one at a time when they are doing suit shopping. And he's like, I'm having a lot of feelings. This makes things real. He starts kind of trailing off, and he's finally says, can we just do this tomorrow? I can't do this. I need to get the fuck out of here. I can't do this.
He's
and
spiraling.
He just up and leaves the suit shop, leaving his friends there. He does not say a word to them. And everyone just watches him out the window as he heads to his truck.
His white truck, yes. It's so uncomfortable, but also it's iconic TV because, like,
it's incredible.
Oh
it's
my
Runaway
God.
Groom in the best possible way because you watch all the things come together, and then, like, that's the finale of it in some ways.
And
Oh, it's
then
incredible.
The needle drop. We're hearing all his friends being like, where's he going? This is not good. And all of a sudden you hear Sabrina Carpenter going,
Oh boy. And then it cuts to Manchild.
Oh, it's so perfect. I got goosebumps.
Me too. The music budget, I mean, we got Dochi's Anxiety and Sabrina Carpenter's Manchild. Are you kidding me? An
And then
embarrassment
we got
of
Don't Go
riches.
Breaking My Heart, this drop. I mean,
it's
cinema.
So good.
So let's talk about what happens after this. The next episode, we come in and Madison is sitting on the floor of their apartment crying. She's on the phone with someone saying that Joe left. And in a confessional, she says Joe told her that during his tux fitting, he had a breakdown and felt completely detached. He told her, "You're not my person. If we go to the altar, I will say no." This was apparently the night before. So he comes in, they hug. She's like, I slept a little bit and let's talk. So she asked him why he let her go through with the wedding dress fitting. And he says the tux fitting was the breaking point. He wanted to, quote, keep going as long as he could.
Yikes.
But he's come to the point where he knows. And he's like, you can have love for someone and know they're not the one. You can. I kind of feel like he doesn't even have love for
No.
Barely friendship. No, he doesn't
Yeah.
have anything for her.
He's
like, I don't
even
have ill will
fondness.
for you. I don't have malice for you. I just kind of like don't feel anything for you. It's like you're a
He has
stranger.
guilt. He has guilt for her, and he knows he's in this show, and he knows that they had sex and that he likes her in some ways, and she really likes him in a lot of ways, and how he's going to look and how it's all like you're watching it all happen on his face, like all these possible things and repercussions and how people will think about him and how he thinks about him, and like, but we had sex and we do love each other and we do laugh. I could get married to her, but like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to. I don't want this
to.
I
person.
do think that guilt is the overriding emotion he has. Like when he says that he does love her, care about her, I'm like, no, he feels guilty that he is doing this. But for her specifically, I don't get the sense that he feels anything much.
No.
She asked him, like, what's missing? What's the reason? And he says he doesn't have the answers. It's just not right. He can feel it.
So Madison is asking, like, what's missing? What's the reason? What isn't working? And Joe just can't say or doesn't wish to say. And she brings up that this happened right after seeing the singles. Like, they ran into all of the singles. And she asks him if there's anyone else he wants to explore with, and he says no. This was very confusing because we've seen no evidence that
interest.
He has interest
Flirting.
in someone else.
No.
But this is something that happened last season where it turned out that there was some sort of like intrigue with the men trying to hook up with other singles.
Right.
Single that we didn't have any reason to think
Suspect,
of.
yeah.
Right. So it's like, is this happening? I mean, what didn't we see? I certainly have questions for Madison on this, on what happened.
But he's like, no, definitely not. Yeah. Absolutely not. So, okay. And she's like, you're okay with the idea of me being with somebody else? And he says, it's, quote, not a thought you would like to think about.
You out there.
Like removed from reality.
Yeah, removed. Like the language he uses is all so distancing. Like,
it's
yes,
about
one wouldn't
else.
like to think such a thing about one's ex-fiance, I suppose. When you put it that way.
Yeah, it's not great.
he's doing a thought experiment and she is in it. She's like, the thought of you being with someone else in a year makes me sick. Like, she is going through a breakup and he is dissociating. He's just trying to get the fuck out of there the whole time.
I think she feels lucky that he chose her and loved her and kept choosing her, at least saying it, not showing it, and maybe showing it in the most minimal way, that like she is confused. But he was just like gaslighting her, but just like doing the minimum, but she was receiving the most. Like, it was very confusing.
Yeah. I feel like also because she felt like they had a really good sex life. And so she's like, we have this chemistry, we have this passion. Like, you really want me to give that to someone else? And he says, well, obviously the physical aspect, the holding, the touching, it feels good to do that with you. This also feels like a really weird, like almost literal and therefore kind of honest way of being like, yes, it feels nice to have sex, but not I specifically need to do that with you, or I don't want you to do that with someone else. Just like, yes, when we touched each other, it felt good. Nice feelings.
And I do think that is essentially the extent of his emotion towards her. He's like, when we have sex, that's good because sex is nice. Sex with a pretty lady is nice. Do I feel anything specific for you? Not really.
I just really, this really like stuck to me because I definitely have done stuff like this in breakups, like where I was just like, it's one thing for the relationship to end, but like,
aren't you going to miss this
Aren't
thing?
you going to miss this? Aren't you like sad that I'm going to move on with someone else? Like, don't you feel any sort of like specific possessiveness or just like attachment to me? And when the other person has already moved way past that, then they're kind of like,
no, the
right.
door's
And that's
closed.
what he's not quite saying. He's the honest thing is that no, he's not bothered by the fact that she will be there.
That. Yeah,
of course not. That's awful. It's awful.
But you also don't want to go in a circle and be like, yes, but sex was really great and I will miss you. But then why are we breaking up? Because it's not working. Like, it's like that.
It's not a productive question. It's like a self-soothing question. She's like, isn't this something that you also loved? But he's not even really able to give that to her.
It's like Edmund saying, say nice things to me in the middle of a fight. It's like the same thing happening in a different way.
Yes. So Madison asks if they'd met in the real world and dated, would that have worked? She's like, fuck a wedding. Maybe you're just nervous about the marriage part. And Joe says something that I think both of us found to be quite honest in a sad way. That he says, I actually think we made it a lot farther than we would have in real life, which to me is a way of him admitting that he would not have even given her a chance if he saw her in the real world.
Correct.
Yeah. And
because there were cameras, they made it far.
And because they talked before he saw her, too. Like, from the moment that he saw her, he was like, she's not my type. And he would try to say, like, no, I do feel this for her, but it never really seemed to penetrate. She seems shocked, though. She's like, why? Why would you say that? She's like, I think you're just freaked out about the marriage. Like, why would you say that we wouldn't even make it this far? And he's like, I wouldn't have gotten to know you as deep as I did. Like, I wouldn't have even bothered to, like, talk to you.
Yeah. That's what he's saying. And poor Madison is just, like, scooped out. And this is where I started to just get like really, really sad because she is still so in it. And Joe started out this conversation, which, like, to his credit, being direct with her. But then he just starts to look like he's over it and doesn't really have the interest in holding any of her uncomfortable emotions, like any of her emotions that are uncomfortable for him to hold. And he's like looking for the exits.
Yeah.
He wants out. He said his piece. He's clear.
Right,
I'm
he's
done.
like,
We're done. Let's go.
I did it. I said it.
It's almost like a light switch with him. Like, there's no dimmer. It's like on or off. And he's like, I turned it off. So that's it. It's over. There's no like gray area for me. And I'm not going to like give you what you need. So like, what are we doing?
She's crying. He's just like sitting there looking empty-eyed. Like, again, the waiter at the restaurant, like, why am I here? And she's like, do you even care? And he's like, I do. And he lightly rubs her arm with his fingertips. And then he awkwardly says that he doesn't think they should keep dragging it out if it's not working, because he is ready to be done. He's like, yeah, we're done. He looks so blank that she really starts to clock in and is like, you don't care. Like, you're just sitting there watching my heartbreaking. Like, you don't care. And he's like, I do. And she's like, well, then you would hug me or something. And he says, I can hug you.
Yeah,
God.
I can.
I
One could.
could do it.
If
It's
I
not
had
even
it in
like-
me.
It's not even like, oh, I wanted to give you space, or like, I'm sorry. He's just like, I can hug you if you're requesting a hug. Are you requesting a hug? Because then, yes, I can certainly mechanically lift my arms and give you a hug.
Let me order that up for you and I'll bring it out.
Yeah, it's so cold. And Madison says, I'm just sitting here dying inside, and you're sitting there watching it, which is
Oh,
accurate.
Yeah. And finally, she gives up and goes to pack. She's like, he's not going to in any way give me any sort of ending to this that feels like he actually cared at all.
No.
He's not going to get emotional. He's not going to offer me any real comfort. He's just like, I've dumped you and now I have completed my obligations.
And the craziest part is we then cut to a confessional in which Joe is saying, yeah, I feel relieved. Just like a real weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah, we could tell. We could tell.
really,
no,
Joe?
No amount
Oh my
of,
god!
wow, I feel so sad that I hurt Madison. It's just like, wow,
None.
I'm real relieved.
None.
Yes, Joe, when you are the one doing a breakup, there's always an element of relief. We understand that. But maybe just feign a little bit of distress over the fact that you've just hurt someone.
Like a little bit of humanity that you literally might have liked this person a little bit and they might have liked you a lot and you hurt them and they are in pain. Like
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I feel like I was almost too generous to him. I don't know if he even feels guilt. Like, all he's thinking is that how relieved he feels.
Yes.
He's like,
He's like,
thank God
am I allowed
that's
to
over.
leave? Am I
Yeah.
exited? And he's like, I came in here looking for love. I'm sad it didn't work out, but
I'm out. I'm on to the next.
I would have been miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
Then he says something else that's very revealing. He says, you can go through all of those things and try to tell yourself it's a sacrifice and constantly try to tell yourself that this is your person, but you know deep down that it's not the case.
Joe, a relationship shouldn't have to be a sacrifice. You
Yeah.
need to take the space and time to reframe the way you look at romantic partnership.
Yeah.
I wonder if he was triggered by his other relationship too. Like, I wonder if they're similar, if they're totally different, if there's like something that helped him like, oh, I could have done this for 5 years, like I did the other one. But like,
Yeah.
it's something. I'm trying to give him
Well,
like
marriage is clearly the trigger. He's like,
Yeah.
I was about to get married.
the altar.
The runaway bride jumps out. I feel like there is something here that maybe it is rooted in like the way that we frame marriage for men and women. Maybe it's just his particular like approach to relationships where he's like, the relationship and the marriage is for the other person. And if I am miserable and hate it, then that's a sacrifice I need to make because that's just what it is for me.
It
Like,
is.
it's really for them. Like, and I
Yeah.
should do that. Like, there's so much to unpack
So
there about
bleak.
why there are sacrifices you can make within a marriage, sure, or within a relationship. But if being with that person feels like a daily sacrifice, then
Oof.
why are you?
Yeah.
What are you sacrificing for? Like, to what end? Like,
Yes.
what?
And for
Right.
what? Yes.
for what?
Like, is she a billionaire and we don't know? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on here?
It's like, I just got to put in my time and then I'm going to
Yeah.
get that hefty alimony.
Reward.
Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think Madison wants you to sacrifice your daily happiness
No
to
one
be
wants
with her.
to be
No.
spoken about in that
No.
way. Like,
No.
Right.
that's what I was thinking about watching this is just how painful it's going to be for Madison to have to watch this.
hmm
Right.
But I
And it
was
made me
also
really
thinking the
sad.
reunion's going to be amazing because you
Oh,
can really
yeah.
like
Wow.
get to discuss.
Step it up, Vanessa and Nick.
They really
Yeah.
need to. They need like a real investigative journal. I mean, you two should host the reunion and just get after
We
it.
should.
It would be 7 hours long. It would
Great,
never be
but
at
we
that.
would watch. We would watch. Drop it in 3 parts. We would watch. The Real Housewives
Yeah, Bravo
reunions are 3
style.
parts. Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
we'd be like,
come
okay,
on.
Edmund and KB, we have a list of every single one of your scenes, and we want granular reactions to each
Yes.
moment. But there's a lot to unpack here, and the editing again is absolutely insane because he is sitting here being like, "I'm sad because I was looking for love and it didn't work out for me, and I do want to find the right person to spend my life with. She wasn't it." Then we cut back to Madison inside, devastated and crying. She goes to Joe and is like, I'm thankful that I did this with you. As angry as I am with you right now, I want to thank you for being my journey in this. And I'm like, the fact that in this moment she is trying to think about like their relationship as a genuine thing that they did together, when he is out there being like, I'm relieved, I was miserable the whole time, our relationship would have been a sacrifice, is devastating.
It's so sad.
Night
it's
and day.
Just,
Night and
and
day.
I hope she, in this last like year and a half, I hope she's just sublimely happy and sees that this was like actually a favor to her to get out of a lifetime in this kind of dynamic, because no one deserves that.
No.
And after she
Not the life
says
she
this,
should have.
she's like doing her like gracious goodbye thing, and he's like, me too, okay. And like continues to
Again,
look so
where
bored.
are the exits?
And why
like,
did she take the ring off and put it in the box? Like, she's like, is that like a signifier for it? Was like that? I've never seen them
just
do
looking
that
for
in a
things to
way.
say because he's giving her so little. I also was like, Madison, you better have kept that ring.
Well,
I
there's
need to
all this
understand
online
the rings.
chatter that you don't get the ring unless you go to the altar, is what the online internet
Well,
people
you
are
shouldn't get the
saying.
ring unless you go to the altar. I'm confused by this.
But then how did Casey keep the ring?
Well, how did Casey keep the ring? Or did she mean that she had to give it to production and Patrick
I don't
was
know.
just
We
like
need
kissing
we
her?
need this
I
to
don't
be
know.
explained.
Oh,
Again,
this is
I don't
true.
I have a list of questions.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
to move on, though. Anton and Ally meet another mom, Vanecci, who is
Yeah.
Great
Ally's
name.
mother.
Ally's mom. And we see them waiting for Anton to show up to meet them at the apartment. And meanwhile, we learn that her older sister, that she's very close with, refused to come and isn't supporting her in the process. And Ally is very hurt. But her mom seems very supportive because, of course, she wants her daughter to be married.
She's an old
yesterday.
maid.
She wanted her to be married a
29.
decade ago.
Can you believe?
I can't. Anton does arrive, and they have lunch together, and he tells Vanecci that he was raised in Russia to think of himself as the man of the house and all that comes along with that, like being a man. And her mom says that in Brazil, it's important for the man to never forget the birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day. That's actually also true here.
I mean, yeah, I don't. That's
Anywhere.
a good tip. Like, don't forget those things.
Think about your person.
Yeah. I do think that, like, first of all, that's very important, but I do think that there is like a bit of a traditionalist element to this, which is like, it's sort of like Secretary's Day. Like, there's no boss's day, right? She's doing everything for you all the time. Don't forget
Yes.
her birthday, okay?
Yeah.
The bar is
the
low
least-
for men.
the
Like, you
least
must
you can
do
do.
these things. Exactly. That's like the bar, the bare minimum that you have to do. It's like
Yeah.
bodega roses on those days.
Exactly.
She also seems to believe that like they're not allowed to have any sort of separation once they are married. They're not
They
allowed
have-
to go out with their own friends ever.
No.
They
no.
have become one flesh. They are now a two-headed hydra. They are always
I
together.
was like,
No
wow, she would be
independence.
horrified by my marriage.
Yes, she would. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say.
yeah, she would.
Mine
No,
as well.
very
She'd
much,
be
yeah.
appalled. She'd be like, oh, why aren't you catching
Certainly.
on fire or stepping outside?
Yeah. You're a unit now. She's like, if you go somewhere, you have to go together. Well, first she's like, don't choose time with your friends over time with your wife. And I was like, okay, I get that. Like, you don't want to have like the husband who's always like, I'm going to go to happy hour
Sure.
every night with the boys or whatever. And then she says, if you go somewhere, you have to go together. And then I was like, wait a second.
You're like, that's a different sentiment.
Bring her
Hold
to
on.
the strip club. I think that's what we should do here.
When
You
you
should
want to
bring
go to the
her
strip club,
to the
as
strip
you are
club.
due as a man, bring
Yes.
Allie along.
Yes, yes, family time. And the baby, because there's no nanny. So everyone has to go.
Right.
But
Yeah.
also, she does seem to be okay with Allie being alone if she is doing domestic labor in the home.
Right. Well, this is weird. She's like, if you're at work, she's at home. It doesn't matter. You choose that. Okay. Sounds very modern. And then she's like, but if you, Anton, if you choose not to do something and go out, Allie, you have to stay home. You do what you have to do. Go wash dishes or clothes or clean the house.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Things
like,
you're
oh,
great
honey,
at.
no, honey, I don't want to go out and meet our friends tonight. So let's stay home and you can clean the house. What?
And I'll drink everything in the fridge. It just like doesn't make any sense.
I'll be over here pounding this half bottle of tequila and you'll be cleaning up my laundry.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely not. And Allie's like, haha, well, Mom, we disagree on that a little.
And Anton does not disagree with her mom on that. He's like,
No.
I love you. I love you.
It's
It
really,
really-
giving me the ick.
There's something about this dynamic. I know that this is like how it kind of used to be, but it feels very much like we have trained up this housekeeper and she comes with excellent references. We did an amazing job. And like, just remember, now that you're starting your new position, you have to keep busy doing all the things around the house. Like, she's not looking at her daughter as like a partner in this relationship. She's looking at her daughter as like a very good like domestic servant that she is like presenting to him.
Overqualified domestic servant at that too.
Extremely. Yeah. It's true. And actually maybe not very good at domestic labor.
No.
I know.
At
I
all.
do kind of love that that's like the thing Ally seems to enjoy the least and do the least.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, once you become a wife, that all changes and you just love to do the laundry.
Yeah,
Suddenly.
it's sort of like sex, like, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, I'm afraid of it. It's disgusting. Now that I'm married, though.
I want it all the time.
want-
When he wants it, I want it. Of course, always.
After this, Vanecci offers her support and he gets the stamp of approval, even though Ally is sort of like, make it harder for him.
I was like, Ally, I really hope she says no. So the next time we see them, they are on like a romantic sleigh ride, sitting by a fire. Ally is wearing heels. She clearly was not informed exactly of the setting of this date, but she soldiers through. And Anton's like, we're the same person, like long lost twins.
And Ally says, yikes, then we just lied under oath. That wouldn't be my main concern, personally. Pretty sure you guys have been banging up a storm over there.
Yeah, I want to marry my twin.
As long as you don't lie under oath, it is
Yeah, it's
fine to
fine.
be in love with your twin.
Yeah, that's all good.
Anton starts talking about how he wants a yes to mean 1000% because they're going to change, hopefully for the better. Like maybe he'll stop drinking 12 packs and lying about it. And he's like, I've always been changing for the better. And then he says that there's never a perfect person and relationships are all about effort. If both people are putting in that same effort, it will be as close to a perfect relationship as you can get.
Okay.
Ally seems unconvinced. She's like, it's a fine line between compromise and staying with something that's not meant to be. In the past, I've stuck with relationships I knew weren't right because I thought I could work on it. And Anton is like, well, I've known people who've been married a long time, and they all say, if one person gives up, there's nothing you can do. You just have to both keep working on it. And I'm like, okay, I do agree that you should both put an effort, but like, this is kind of a tautology. It's like, yes, as long as you both insist on continuing to work on it, you will not be divorced. Like, you will stay married as long as you both insist on staying married.
And you're like, yeah. I mean, literally true.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you are in like a good marriage.
No,
And
you're
look,
just
on
still
its-
married.
On
Yeah.
its face, I agree that there will like never be a perfect person, but I
Yeah.
also agree with what Ally is saying, which is that like you don't. If you are unhappy, you are allowed to leave, and you should
Yes.
be allowed to leave.
Yes.
Also,
She's
like,
like, just because I might say yes doesn't mean it's literally never ever gonna be allowed to change.
right. Also, like, what is this effort? Because she has raised repeatedly a pretty big concern about your drinking, and you have obfuscated, lied, turned it back on her. And
Also, not just drinking.
Now
like,
she
the
can
partying,
never
the strip
Partying.
clubs, the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he's like one way to the moms, and then another way with his best friend, and another way with her, and it's like this multifaceted
Yes.
man that's sort of like, what? Who are you really? You know?
That's so true. Like, he has pieced together like different versions of what a real man acts like in different settings, and that is
Yes.
how he behaves. This brings us to Edmund and Calabria. They go snowmobiling, and Edmund is hooting and hollering as they drive. They end up like sitting to enjoy a view of the mountains. He sits enjoying the view, and KB brings them both hot chocolate. And as she awkwardly delivers him the cocoa and then maneuvers to sit without his assistance, she says, "Thanks for your help down." And he laughs.
And KB is mad because they had another off-camera interaction that really pissed her off. And she says that when the cameras were off, he was very dismissive of her. And then the minute the cameras came up, he acted like none of it happened. And she says, you're not the same person on camera that you are off.
Yeah, basically she's like, whenever we're about to film, you make an asshole remark, we fight, and then on camera you're suddenly very cheesy, you're all over me, but I look standoffish because I don't hide my emotions. This
Yeah,
would be
it's very
maddening. She's like, you're
uncomfortable.
making me look bad.
Yes. Again and again and again. And you
God.
look great.
KB, get out,
Yeah.
get out of this relationship.
She's doing all the lifting. Like, he can't even get the hot cocoa. He can't even
or
help
help
her
her
down in the
down.
snow. Like, it's not like a chair. Like, it's snow, and she has her hands full. And like, you're a gentleman. It's all like he
Yeah.
can't even do the least. I think
It just feels like he's only really aware of his own experience.
Yeah.
yes,
And I
that's a
know that,
great-
like, yes, 100%. Like, I feel like that would you save me from a man grabbing me at the bar, while it was like an annoying hypothetical, it keeps coming back to that for me. It's like whenever she's like, would you do something for me? He's basically like, no.
no, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't want to do that though, because what about me is the thing.
But if she
And-
keeps getting the same no, but she keeps trying like so intently, like.
And some
I
of
wonder
that
if
is
she-
on her. Like at a certain
Yes.
point, it's like this is a pattern.
Yes, this is who he is, and you decide if that's gonna work for you or not.
Yeah. So she explains that in the car, he was upset because he found out the bachelor party theme was Western. I actually thought this was very funny and valid. The mixer was also Western.
Yeah, guys,
Like,
get a new theme. We know they were like, Colorado. What happens
What
here?
else
other
could we
than
do? Yeah.
Western generally.
they clearly had to buy new Western accessories. They're like, this isn't our thing. We're not cowboys. Like, stop
Yeah.
doing cowboy stuff. And as he was ranting about it, she said, hey, sweetheart. And he cut her off, then told her it wasn't disrespectful that he cut her off and he's not sorry about it.
This is kind of the wildest thing about this fight is that she's like, you hurt me. And his line is, I did nothing wrong and I'm not sorry. So why would I apologize to you?
Right. And she's like, oh, I'm so tired. You make it so hard. I can't force you to want to grow up. The guy I fell in love with in the pods and the beginning of Mexico, that's the guy I love. But I need you to be accountable and apologetic when you hurt me. And he's like, I did nothing wrong to you. I'm sorry for you taking whatever I've done wrong to you. But here we are. I'm in a good mood enjoying this. She's
Again,
like, you weren't
his experience.
right.
Yes.
I'm happy in this moment.
Independent of her, no matter what. Like, he's a good time guy, no matter what else is going on.
Unless he's mad, and then that's justified too, because that's his experience.
He
Yeah.
resents being affected by her emotions.
Right.
Even if her emotions were caused by him.
Mhm.
He's like, that's your business. I don't want to have to
Not mine.
be affected
And I
by
didn't
that.
do that. And if I did, it's not my fault that
Right.
you feel that way. Yeah.
So, yeah, he even says, she's like, you weren't in a good mood in the car and now you're in a good mood. And he's like, well, no, I'm not in a good mood now because your feelings are messing up my feelings.
So telling. So telling.
Oh, Lord.
And he's like, I'm just excited about my first time snowmobiling. And KB's like, well, I can't enjoy it because you won't apologize.
He
Yeah.
again is like, well, I'm not sorry.
Yeah,
So-
I don't feel sorry, so I'm not going to say I'm sorry.
It's
And
this cycle that is not. She
Right.
cannot choose. They cannot. I just.
They cannot.
Come
They
on,
cannot.
you're
They
too
cannot.
smart for that. Like,
Yeah. They end up in a place where she's like, well, I guess I don't want you to say sorry if you don't feel sorry. And he's like, well, I don't feel sorry. And then he says something I thought was very revealing. And it goes back to one of the things I was saying earlier, which is he says, I've really done nothing wrong to you. Because if I'd really done something wrong to you, I don't think you'll be sitting here with me or swallowing it.
No.
Like,
that's-
basically, he's like, I can't have done something wrong because there hasn't been a punishment. There
mhm.
hasn't
and the
been a
punishment is you
consequence.
leaving me.
Yes,
Right.
you haven't grounded me for my actions. Therefore, I've done nothing wrong.
And also the idea that to be punished is to be abandoned.
Yes.
All right, which feels also very tied to his experiences in childhood. Just feels like there's
Yeah.
a lot that he still needs to unpack before he's going to be in a place to be like a truly equal partner to
for her.
someone.
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
then how could she ever convince him that he did something wrong to her without ending the relationship?
Right.
Like, it's like,
She-
as long
Yeah, the
as you stay,
stakes.
I guess I've done nothing wrong the whole time
Yes.
we've been together.
Yeah. Oh, Lord.
No, it's a lose-lose. It's such a lose-lose situation for her. And this conversation ultimately ends badly because he doesn't want to apologize and doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah. And she basically ends by like storming off because he's like, you always cut me off, actually. And he cuts her off to tell her that she always cuts him off. And she's like, I'm exhausted. I can't do this.
Goodbye.
You finally see like she reaches her wit's end, like understandably at a point where it's like she's been calm, cool, and collected, walked him through all of the details of the day and what affected her, clear, black and white, like very simply, and still he's not. It's just not.
It's not
computing
penetrating
for him. It's
And
not
then he starts
going
to be like,
through.
why are you so heated? And it's like, were you not present for the last half hour of this conversation?
Were you like thinking about rollerblading in the snow, like while we were
Probably.
fighting? Like, what
Ooh,
is?
can you imagine rollerblading in the snow?
Correct. Like, I just kind of got lost there for a
Right?
minute.
If you think about it, a snowmobile is like one big snow rollerblade.
Yes, 100%. I could see him being like lost in that idea, and then he probably only listens to 1/10 of what she says because when they
yeah.
pan on his face, again, these editors, he's like,
The men this season are all completely in their own. They're just hearing do 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 when the women are
elevator
talking to them.
music.
Yeah, they are detached.
They're like, when do
But-
I get to the 10th floor? Keep pushing the button. Just keep hearing this elevator music.
But the next day, back at home, Edmund does bring her a big bouquet of flowers. He has had time to think, and he apologizes for the way he acted toward her in the car and for minimizing her emotions. He says he knows some reasons why she could be done with him, and he wants to make up for it. And she tells him that there was a moment on the mountain when she wanted to take her ring off and throw it. Right now, she's battling if she has anything left to give.
I just don't think that's how you should be feeling going into a marriage.
Yeah, I do have to be kind of
alone a
on
wedding.
Nick's side here. Like, yeah, you're going into the wedding and you're wondering if you even have anything left to fight for just a few days before. That's a no.
Right. I
It's a
do,
big
in
no.
this situation, think that Nick and Joe, and I hate to hand it to them in any way, but they did do the right thing by not going to
Continuing
the
on.
altar.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah.
like a producer told him, like, you have to do a Hail Mary, like, because you couldn't
yeah.
leave it on that fight and then the next thing is, like, at the altar.
Yeah.
Like, we
No.
needed something to be buttoned up. So, like, this
I think in
grand
some way
act
it dawned on him, you either apologize
Producers.
or
or
this
you,
is done.
Yes. Producers made
Yes,
him go to the
producers.
grocery store and buy those flowers in
And
a
I
very
think-
large mason jar. I'm like, what is happening?
I think 2012 is back, baby. I also think
Yes.
that, I think that probably producers are leaning on both of them because they are running out of couples to film on wedding
Oh,
day.
yeah.
That's
They're
true.
like, none of them are going to get married.
They're like, you still have 5 days. You guys have
Yes.
such a solid foundation. Like, give him a
Yeah.
chance. Maybe he'll get you flowers today. I don't know. Just an idea.
Oh, no.
So Edmund is like, you've changed me into the best man I can be. You're doing everything right for me. I appreciate you so much, the ways you've helped me. And she finally says that he gave her hope with the apology and the flowers. She says, that was a man that came in here and did that. You came here and went straight to business. That's what I need. She also apologizes and says she shouldn't cuss at him. She says the version she's been of herself lately, she hasn't been in years. I'm not that woman at all. And then confusingly, she says that he has made her better as well. And I'm like, it sounds like he has made you worse.
Yeah, she's
He's
like,
bringing out the
you-
worst in you, but the best in you, the best worst in you.
Yeah.
You've made me better, and that's why I don't recognize myself right now in the worst way possible.
Right.
I have been changed for good. Like, so confusing.
I guess he's like pressure testing her maturity. Like, she's going to become stronger from this. But she says she doesn't want him to feel like she gave up on him, and she wants to keep choosing to love him and work on things. So we're back on, baby. The next time we see them, he has taken her to a park to show off his skating skills. She does not seem super impressed by them, I gotta say.
His foot fetish comes out yet again.
I mean,
They're
the number
leaning
of
in.
foot massages is like uncomfortable.
You know what?
I had to cut at least one foot massage from the notes.
It's like, and
There's many. And look, I'm not yucking anyone's yum. Like, if
No.
you like it, I love it. I just, do I need to
Yes.
see it? Do I
It
need
just
to see it
seems
so
like
many
it's-
times?
It seems like it's just become part of their like relationship culture, like more than
Yes.
it's an authentic thing at this point. Like she's like, "Do you
Yes.
want to rub my feet?" And he's like, "Can I kiss them before they go on the roller skate?" And I'm like, I feel like you just do this because you know it's like your thing now.
I also remember they're not having sex, so like everyone else is having a
Right.
different outlet physically, and this is the only way
they
that they're
just have
kind
the
of
feet.
showing
Yeah.
like they just have the feet and like the things he's doing to these
Yeah.
feet while he's probably thinking like I need
Yeah.
to show her the kind of lover I will be if we get married. Like
And when
these
he
are just your
sees
feet, baby. Like imagine.
when he sees her socked foot going into the skate, he's like, "Ooh boy."
He's like, one day, baby. So they're having fun, and
KB
don't
is
go
like,
break it.
"This is proof that love conquers all."
Is
It's
it?
not.
Certainly
It's
not.
You've had like 2 good days. Calm down.
But she does hate him less in this scene, and I love that for both of them. We hear Don't Go Breaking My Heart playing as they skate happily. That song will come back in a minute because we have to talk about Megan and Jordan, our final couple. We see them go to tarot reading. We see them like having fun buying like fancy Western hats to wear on their wedding day. They do clarify, not during the ceremony.
I'm
just
glad we
like-
know this because I don't think there will be a wedding. So I would have
Yeah.
been envisioning them with their wide-brimmed hats. Hers has a normal amount of sparkle around the crown, of course, because she's normal amount of sparkle, Megan. And his has these sort of raggedy cords, like a, like kind of like one of those men with a bindle over his shoulder.
From the infamous Kimo Sabe, nonetheless, from all of the housewives who've been to Kimo Sabe.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Oh,
flipping
yeah, no,
out.
this is-
I
this
was
is a
like, this is
high-end-
Kimo Sabe. This is Megan. It's expensive. Yes.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Yeah.
These are fancy ass hats.
He probably freaked out at the price of the hats, or I wonder if she doesn't let him in on that. Or
I
production.
also just think production is paying for these hats.
Yeah, but he would freak out if he knew the price of a Kimo Sabe.
I would
These are-
probably freak out if I knew. Don't tell
Yes.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
these hats are like $900.
Oh my
at
God.
least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they start talking about house hunting. I think that a house should cost $900, not a
That'd
hat.
be great.
Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be so nice.
She tells him that she saw a house by herself, but it wasn't the one because it had a weird layout and also bad numbers in the address because she loves home numerology.
I was not even aware this existed. Were you
Same.
aware of this, Jove?
I've heard of numerology, but not home numerology.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
that
I've
part
like
of it
heard
was
the term numerology. I'm aware
Yes.
that's a thing, but not home specific.
No, me
I was
neither.
like, do
And
I
also,
need to
Yeah.
add up all the numbers in my home address and figure out if I
seems-
got a good one?
your
Very
juju might be
limiting.
off. Yes, very limiting. And also you're seeing places without him. Like what is happening? If you're intending to get a home for his son, your future stepchild, like wouldn't you bring him? Like,
Maybe
what?
she'll bring him back for a second viewing.
She's just like,
Like
Yeah.
she's like
Okay.
she's
She's
doing the scouting
scouting.
because she doesn't have a job and he has like a very
Uh-huh.
full
Yes.
commitment job. So she's like,
Yes.
I'm checking some things out, but here's the thing: I'm looking for a 6. You have to add up the numbers in the address. The final number means something about the house. My LA home was 7. That's all about spirituality and self-discovery, and that's how I've been in my
Duh.
LA home. My old Denver home was an 8, which is about abundance and wealth, and that's where I made all my money. You just got to get a house with an 8 and you'll become rich.
Mhm.
You can even get a house way out of your price range if it's an 8 because you'll soon be able to afford it.
and that's called making sound financial decisions.
Oh, it's so uncomfortable. That and the tarot, he's sort of like, who are you? Is
Right,
this
she
what you meant by
doesn't-
sparkle?
She doesn't seem woo-woo
Like
at
that
all.
girl.
I think
No,
it
I
conflicts
agree.
with his image of her.
Yeah, all of ours. All of ours. I
And,
was
like-
like, wait, huh?
The clown sort of music starts to play as he looks at her and he's like, what? She's
Yeah.
like, I want a 6 house. That's a good family home. It's where people gather. And she's like, you hate that. And he's like, no, just what?
He's like, you wouldn't like really make a decision based on that,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
And she's like,
Yeah.
no, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would though.
She's like, no, I would never do that, honey. Absolutely not.
And Jordan then asks her for her favorite and least favorite thing she's learned about him. And she says for favorite, what a good dad he is. And for least favorite, she says that she feeds off his energy. So if he's quiet, she'll be quiet too. And he asks if that bothers her. And she says, I don't know, which means yes.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Why would you even be
It's
bringing it up if it didn't bother you?
No, yeah, it obviously bothers you.
it's very uncomfortable, but like it is odd you don't want to talk about work at all. That's like a
I
very
thought
weird
that was
line in
very
the
odd,
sand
too.
to me. Like I get you don't want it to be your whole identity, and I get you want to leave it at work, but sometimes like I talk about work just to get it out and to my partner, and then it's like we move on. It's like a section of the conversation. It's not the whole conversation.
Emma, does Adam like to talk about work?
No, but I know what's going on, and sometimes I will ask, and sometimes he'll be like, "No, I'm over it. I don't want to talk about it today." Like, because that was stressful. But what I was getting from her that I understood her frustration is that she like seemed to not even know at all what was going on in his work life. And I can understand why that would feel distancing, especially if she's like, I'm grasping at straws and you're not really giving me anything.
Yeah. Well, we haven't gotten into this whole conversation yet. So let's get. I was curious because like I talk a lot about work with my husband, and he generally does not want to talk about work very much with me.
No, that is
and
kind of the dynamic I'm in too, but like this seemed like perhaps an extreme situation from what we hear later.
Well, I think his work also seems kind of extreme. Like it sounds like extremely draining, but we'll get into it. So this is when Don't Go Breaking My Heart transitions us from KB and Edmund skating into playing from Jordan's phone as he watches a video. Cinema. Like, come on.
The editors,
Incredible.
they really, this season.
Oh, they're working
I'm
overtime.
imagining that he's watching something completely different, and they're like, what if we could like make this sound tinny, like it's coming from a phone?
I thought it was great.
It was
I don't
perfect
care.
while she's cleaning, literally fully cleaning. And he's
Okay.
like, "Don't go breaking my heart."
Guys, what the fuck is happening
okay.
in this scene?
So Megan is cleaning the kitchen. He's looking at his phone, and then she's like, we should start packing. And he says, is that what we're doing? So
And I
it
was
kind
like,
of
no,
seems
can you
like-
tell us?
Right. It kind of seems like they are maybe calling off the wedding, but they have not come to a 100%. They're like kind of hoping that that's not happening. Or are they just packing because they're moving out before the wedding? But that's not how they make it seem at all.
It's very
No.
confusing, and they don't clarify it.
Yeah.
No,
And they
you're
don't even
right.
clarify
Where are we
exactly
going? Why
what
are we
day
Where are we
packing?
going? Yeah.
And why is she cleaning if they're leaving? And that's like, and not coming back, unless it's like an anxious clean.
Well, maybe she's like a polite tenant, and she's like,
Yeah,
I have to
she's the
leave
opposite
it.
of
Yeah, she
Alex.
changes the garbage bag too. It's very unclear what's going on here, but I had the same question, Claire.
And so she starts talking again about how getting conversation out of him can be so hard. And Jordan says he doesn't know what to say. And he sounds really tired. Like it was really notable to me. Like he really seemed completely wrung out. And she says, sure, we've been doing things, but the conversation has been next to nothing. I'm telling you to give me more. And he says that she does it in an abrasive fashion, and he wants her to be more compassionate to a situation. He says that she tells him that he's not allowed to be tired. And she's basically like, well, we're both in the same boat. I'm exhausted too, and I'm tired of hearing that as an excuse. And he's like, it's not an excuse, and we're not in the same boat. And there's no problem with that. Your boat is way bigger than my boat. He's like, I understand you work very hard to put yourself in this position. I don't want to project my daily stresses onto you. And like, I do think it's incredibly annoying when you are very rich and you don't need to work to tell your partner who works exhausting 10-hour shifts that you're in the same boat and you're equally exhausted. Like you're exhausted
agree.
from playing tennis. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
Right, and I get it. I get that she's like still doing work, presumably. She's setting up a business, but it's not the same thing. And I
seems
agree.
pretty minimal because she herself is like, I barely do anything. I like to play tennis at 10 a.m. and then I go to Aspen for 5 days.
Right.
And then I look at homes with the wrong numbers, and then I want to come home and I want you to entertain me because I've got nothing else to
And I
do.
think at bare minimum, she needs to understand that their situations are simply not the same.
No.
And like, if I was Jordan, that comment would really, really frustrate me. Where I had more empathy for her is when she is talking about the fact that he's not giving her anything, that she feels like she keeps trying to talk to him and he's kind of silent. Like, I can understand why that would feel hard.
I feel like their needs are just honestly completely different. Like he's like, I work
agree.
10-hour shifts. I talk to people all day. I come home. I have nothing left. I'm exhausted. Sometimes I just want to sit next to you and watch a movie. Is that a deal breaker? She's like, no, not if it's once in a while. But, like, maybe it's not once in a while. He's exhausted. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I work all day and I have kids. By the end of the day, sometimes all we can do is watch a movie. Sometimes I'll be like, listen, we should make more effort to, like, find time to connect and have conversation. But because we're both exhausted, we understand each other and
Yeah.
we give each other
Mm.
that grace. And it feels like she's like, maybe you're allowed to rest and watch a movie sometimes, but that's not really what I'm looking for in my life. Okay, so
Yeah,
then,
she
like,
wants to go to Italy.
he can't do that right now.
Yeah,
Like,
No.
this conversation just
No.
made me feel like neither of them are necessarily doing anything so wrong, but they are not aligned. The things
At
that they
all.
want and need in their lives in this moment are just not aligned, and they are very fond of each other, and I believe they're into each other and attracted to each other and admiring of each other, but I do not think that they are compatible.
But she's dated men who are like her, who are career driven and career focused first.
And
nicest
rich.
restaurants, best travel, rich, drive nice cars, like a society, men of society all the time, and it hasn't worked. And he's like very clear about that with her. And he's like, you wanted something different with me. This is different. This is me. Like,
But
this is what it is.
in a weird way, I think that it's actually sort of similar for her to being with the billionaire who, like, worked all the time. She's like, yeah, you're not a billionaire, but you work all the time. And that's the reality. I think sometimes there's an impression that, like, there's the businessman who's always working, but a lot of working class people
Are always
are
working.
always working. They're just not
Yeah.
making billions of dollars. Like, he's like, I work all the time and then I have my son. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's my speed. I'm doing Luca, Legos, my job. Like, that takes up my time. Sure, I would love to do the stuff you do for fun. I would love to have your hobbies. I just don't have time. Like, I
not my
can't do
reality.
that.
What did you
Yeah.
think, though, of his comment where he was like, I know you have the means to have a nanny or like other childcare, but I don't want that. I want to raise my son.
I think that he is in a very different position than Ally. He has a job. Obviously, he uses childcare. But the idea that, like, I'm taking a nanny on vacation so that I can, like, do whatever and someone else is watching my kid, to me, that's where it does get into an area where I'm like, when I'm not at work, I'm spending time with my kids most of the time. Like, okay, you can have a nanny so that we could be gone for a 5-day weekend and my son is with someone else. That's when I start to feel like I'm not present for my kid. You know, like, he has a job. It's not like he's not using childcare, but does he want to
prioritize these
right.
other things over that
More than
like
his
extra
son.
time?
Legos with Luca, which was the
Yeah.
cutest,
Yeah,
sweetest
I
thing.
know.
And if she wants a different lifestyle, a lot of people do that. But he's like, that's not what I'm going to want to do with my kids. So we need to understand whether we're on the same. I don't think they're on the same page. I think that she
No.
either hasn't thought about what it would look like for her to have a kid, or she will want to be much more of the, like, we have help and we kind of keep up our routine and the kids are there with the nanny when we need the nanny, etc.
She also has a more flexible work schedule, right?
Yeah.
So like she could be spending time with Luca or with a child of her own during those daytime hours, right? Like, her time is not the limited resource that his is. And so I think that she's not looking at the way that, like, the organization of that time in the same way that he is.
Right.
And he's doing that out of necessity, obviously.
Yeah, he has to. I feel like
Yeah.
the child is his whole world. The child would be part of her world. And, like, it's just a different viewpoint in terms of, like, the life they want to live. Like, she's like, I want to travel to Italy with you, and I want to do all these things, and we can do that with a nanny and with money and. But he's not going to be able to take more than 10 days off a year. Like, if he is at that kind of a job, working those hours, he can't have long holiday weekends. Like, he's probably working nights and holidays and weekend. Like, it's
And he
just,
certainly can't be like going to long lunches and playing tennis at 10 a.m.
No,
like, it's just
right.
not
No.
compatible with his life.
Right. She's describing her schedule and she's like, I would like you to join me in some of the, and it's all like time consuming leisure activities. And he's like, I just
Yes.
can't. Like, that's not going to be my life. And he does tell her, like, yes, in the pods you said you didn't want it to be about money. That's why you picked me. And she smiles, but it looks kind of bittersweet because I think that she is coming to the realization that, like, she didn't want it to be about money, but her life is actually so different from his that, like, for it to work, she is going to have to change a lot. And that's not
And
what
she
she
wouldn't
wants.
he wouldn't not work either. I think like even if she presented that option so that they could live the life she preferred, I don't think he's the kind of person that would stop working
No.
because, you know what I
And
mean?
that
Like to
also,
live
like,
that
in the
life.
same way that we say, like, for a lot of women who end up being pushed out of the workforce, like, that is a very vulnerable position to be in, to be fully financially
Supported.
dependent
Or
on
dependent,
another person.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't,
he says he's ambitious. He wants to like get to a point where his lifestyle looks different, where he's like kind of reached a higher level. So like to instead just like give that up for this relationship, it's not realistic. Like I just don't. And what I appreciated here is like actually seeing a very real side of how this class divide can play out, where like her lifestyle as like an independently wealthy person who is noodling around on a startup is just so different, has so much more leisure and possibility and flexibility than his life as someone with like a working class job, someone with like a child, that like they really have to figure out not just like, do we have enough in common? Do we have compatible values? It's like literally, can we make our day-to-day schedules align? Like you're literally too tired to talk to me, and my life revolves around like having enjoyable conversations with people I care about. That's something that he can't necessarily always have because his job takes that from him.
And I
because
also,
of capitalism, you guys.
Correct.
And it all
it
comes
has
back to that.
I know.
Has to provide for his child.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, wouldn't it be nice if this person, if like Jordan was able to work fewer hours and still make enough money to support his child? Like what possibilities would exist? What if we didn't have like a crazy wealth gap in our society? All of these things. But what I did appreciate is that even throughout this, like they're having a really tough conversation, but there is a warmth on both ends while it is happening.
That's true.
Like they're making little jokes. She's like making a joke about throwing his like NutriBullet into the trash, and he's like, "You didn't use all that money to go to joke school. That was terrible."
That one didn't land either. But yes, like there is like an attempt to kind of they're trying, and
you could feel it didn't feel like two people who just like fucking hated each other. It felt like two people who respected each other and care for each other, but were maybe coming to the realization that their relationship was not going to work.
Yeah, they're really noodling. I feel like they are really sort of massaging it. Like they both want it to work. Even the meeting with the family, like if you think back, I think his parents, was it his parents that said it's 90% commitment and 10% love?
Yeah,
like,
that was his parents.
And like that's kind of like that sort of working class, very American, like you just have to do it to do it. And he's like, I'm doing it. Are you wanting what I'm doing? Like this is my life. Like I work hard. I make Legos with Luca and I make chicken smoothies. I don't do this fine dining thing you like to do.
Or he's like, I do, but like that's not going to be my life every night.
No. And she's like, woo me with a nice dinner out. And he's sort of like, wow.
I did think it was funny that she did air quotes, like she knew he wasn't literally going to be able to take her out to a nice restaurant. Yes. But like court me, you know, like sort of.
You're not having caviar with him. It's just not, and he doesn't seek it out. He doesn't need it. He doesn't want it. Almost like he's fulfilled in the world.
I think he's like, oh, if we go out to like a really nice birthday dinner, I will enjoy that. But that's not going to be like built into my daily life in the way that it is into yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it just like kind of makes me sad because it's hard to. A lot of people do have just like jobs where they have to work all the time, like very hard, and it's exhausting. And one of the hard things about that is that it leaves you with less energy in addition to less time. And Megan is sort of like, well, I have the luxury of having lots of energy to spend entertaining myself, and I want you to be one of the things entertaining me. And he's like, I can't. And you also don't want them to get married and for her to just be miserable and to be like, this isn't what I signed up for. And they're both kind of arriving at this kind of conclusion, I think, that maybe this is actually just as big of a wrench in things as the world falling or her slapping Luca in the face.
This is catastrophic for them.
And it is sad because I've grown to really enjoy their dynamic together. And maybe it is just because they are the one and only couple that seems to actually like each other.
So are
Yeah.
we saying no one's getting married and this is just going to be like, what are we watching?
I
Just
mean,
like
who would get
three.
married? Okay,
Honestly,
so
who? So
we leave
this,
it here. It's a cliffhanger, but we only
Ugh,
seem to see Edmund and KB and Ally and Anton's weddings in the preview. So I'm
and that is
thinking
that's
they
true.
telling.
break up before the
I
wedding.
think this is the breakup
Oh.
conversation. In while they are splicing together some of these previews from the two weddings we do get, we hear Megan and Jordan's voiceover piped
Mm.
over some of the clips. So they are trying to create the illusion that there's three, but there's
But
only
there's
two
two.
weddings, and I've never seen them have a wedding that we don't ever see a clip
Get a preview
teased
of
Yeah,
someone in the audience or the dress, like anything,
exactly.
If they
details.
had the
Yeah,
footage, they would show Megan in a wedding dress.
Yeah.
They would.
interesting.
So I think we're
Hmm.
only going to see Edmund, KB, and Ally and Anton. But do you think, Jove, do you think either of them are going to get married?
I
I'm afraid one of them will.
no. Well, I think Allie will. I think Allie
Yeah.
will. I'm gonna call it. I think if there's gonna be one couple, it's gonna be them.
Yeah.
And then by the reunion time, I don't think they'll have lasted, but I do think they will. The franchise has to have one. We can't have none.
Yeah, that
Like,
would be. This would be the
It would be
first
the
no
first.
wedding.
It
that's
would be
what
the
I'm
first.
saying.
Yeah.
I
And
will
like,
say, however, in the American version, people tend not to do the thing where they get
Mhm.
married and then have broken up within like a few months. They tend to stick it out, which I
Yeah.
guess we've now been a year and a half, so they could be ready to
I
call
feel
it.
like of any of them, they're the ones that, because they do have so much in common, and like I could
Also,
see
an
her
attachment to
rationalizing.
these really conservative values.
Yeah, and they found each other for a reason, and their backgrounds and their upbringings and their moms. Like, there's a lot of good. Like, she's messy and he drinks. Like, I think that seems workable if you really like
Yeah.
want it to. He might still drink and she might still be messy, but like, there's other things. So
Yeah,
If
I don't
anyone gets
know.
married, it will be them. I think
Yeah.
the happiest ending would be that none of these people get married.
I
Yeah.
don't disagree.
Jove, thank you so much for joining us. Sorry for the extremely
Been so
long taping.
fun.
We adore you. Can you tell the people where they can find you and your beautiful work with weddings and your podcast?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's at Jove Meyer, Jovemeyer, and the podcast is Weddings-ish with Jove.
Amazing. Thank you so much again for joining us. Come back soon.
My pleasure.
So now it's time for our friends to enemies scale. As always, disclaimer, this is tongue in cheek. We do not know these people, and therefore this is not that serious.
Do we have any friends left? We have like victims
Yeah.
that I align with. Let's see. Edmund is my enemy.
I'm sorry. I have empathy for him, but he is unfortunately
Sometimes-
my enemy.
Sometimes you can love your enemy, but he's still your enemy. Nick is my enemy.
My enemy.
And I don't love him. Annie is still my enemy.
Yeah. She is a victim a little bit, but she is also a victimizer and is also my enemy.
Yeah. Anton is my enemy.
Definite enemy. Joe is my enemy.
Joe's
please.
my enemy. Ally is like my frenemy.
I want to like give her a hug and be like, you don't have to be
Yeah.
trapped under the thumb of patriarchy like this.
You can send your child to daycare. I promise.
It's okay. It
It'll
doesn't
be
make you a bad
okay.
mom. You can
I
still
have
be a
the-
nurse.
I have the best kids, and they go to daycare. I promise you'll be okay. But she made me feel really offended. So she's
Frenemy.
frenemy. Megan. I feel like my opinion of Megan is very tainted by the fact that I know that she follows like Trump and Trumpy
This is
people.
the thing. I was
on
going to say, if I
Instagram.
didn't know that she probably has really bad politics, I think she would be like my friend that I want to have a talk with.
Yeah, but it's like there are these background facts. Like I'm like, what do you mean you made a bunch of money in oil and gas? And like you have a weird, like Maha sounding, like scammy tech startup that you're doing. And like
I know.
and I know who you follow on Instagram. But like aside from that, she's like just seems fine most of the time.
Yeah, she at least seems like a decently caring partner.
Yeah. Like I think that she was being a little tough on Jordan, but I also understand how frustrating it can be to Especially in this moment when she's not like married to him. She's not like, how can we get through this time together? What can we figure out? She's like, do I want to commit my life to someone who might be too exhausted every day to be a partner to me in the way that I envision having a partner? Maybe I just shouldn't do it.
Right. I also will say she's one of the few that when given feedback can take it on board and say, okay, you know what? I hear that you are saying that to me.
That is so true.
Like she's basically the only person who can like calmly receive negative feedback and be like, okay, you know what? You make a good point.
Actually, Jordan can too. Maybe that's why they're...
yeah, that's why they're not rancid.
Right. Madison, I relate to Madison.
She's so 26.
Yes, 100%. I feel so bad for how this all worked out for her. I'm also like, in certain ways, you are your own worst enemy in this relationship, but also Joe didn't give a fuck and he was so checked out, and that wasn't fair to her. I don't know. I want to see what the next decade has in store for Madison.
Jordan is my friend. He's my friend.
Yeah, I like Jordan.
Yeah,
I'm still feeling good about Jordan.
And KB, my friend.
KB's
my friend who I need to leave this relationship. It's not a good challenge.
Oh boy, if I'd been at the dress fitting and they were like, Claire, what do you think of KB's fiance? You'd be like,
well,
she seems to like him. Yeah. And that's what matters.
Oh God, I'm really interested to see how her friends react during the wedding.
They're going to be like...
They're going to be like, please say no. So should they get married or date in real life after breaking up? Out of 10. Joe and Madison, 0. Absolute 0.
Why would you date someone you're uninterested in whether they live or die? Why would you date that person?
Don't date that person.
The opposite of love isn't hate, it's disinterest. And he is not interested in her one way or the other.
So sad and true. Same with Nick and Annie, like 0, 0, 0.
0. Edmund and KB.
I'm sorry, it's a 0 for me. They should not get married.
Yeah.
Neither of them are bad people, but they should not get married. 0. Not even a little.
Anton and Ally. 1.
I just don't want any of these people to get married. Do I think they're the most likely to get married? Yes. Do I think they should get married? No, not at all.
Yeah. You could see them having a dysfunctional marriage for many years.
Correct. Because neither of them are willing to throw the towel in.
Yeah. Jordan and Megan, I'm going to go a little higher. I could see them being like, clearly there's too much for us to resolve to get married, but why don't we take a step back from this process? And we care about each other so much, we should keep dating. If that were the case, I would say 5.
I agree. I think they should not get married, but I do think that they could give this a chance in the real world, take the pressure off a little bit. See, Megan's relocating. She should get her own house. See how things work out when there's not so much pressure. Take the time to get to know Jordan's life as a dad and his work life. He can go to a restaurant with her. Like, that is the only way that this could possibly work. But I think 5 is the most generous.
Yeah, should they get married? I'm gonna go 1.
1.
Yeah. So this is like, I mean, was Houston as bad as this?
No. No, this is worse. This is worse.
What a train wreck. So we can't wait to be back here next week to discuss the wedding episode. And on that note, that's it for this episode of Love to See It with Emma and Claire. Thanks so much to our guest, Jove Meyer.
Love to See It is a presentation of Odyssey. The show is produced by us, Claire Fallon and Emma Gray. This episode was edited by John Bahar. Our theme music is by Tamar Haviv, and our art is by Aaron Nestor.
If you like the show, please follow us, rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and of course, tell all of your friends about our show. No matter how tired you are, we know that it is something that will really make you guys feel closer.
If you want to get in touch, you can email us at clarentemapod@gmail.com. You can also find us on TikTok at Love to See It Pod and on Instagram at clarentemapod. And you can find our newsletter, Rich Text, on Substack at clarentemma.substack.com. I'm also on Blue Sky at Emma Gray and on Instagram at EmmaLadyRose.
And I'm at Claire E. Fallon. Special thanks to the team at Odyssey, Eric Donnelly, Kate Rose, Moira Curran, Melissa Wester, and Hillary Ship.
We'll be back soon.